using the cool gear of no marketing, BS, money side, price wash, Synth Quiz and news. So sit back, relax, enjoy your favorite crew. Synth Geekery show. Synth Geekery's where it's at. So join the channel and come on for the chat.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to Synth Geekery episode 346, streaming live to you from Perth in Western Australia, somewhere down the bottom of your planet. But if you actually live where we are, you guys are all down the bottom and we're up the top. I don't know, just work it out. Anyway, hope you've been having a great synthy time. It's been a couple of weeks since we've had a show, and I do apologise for last week. We had some family stuff happening, so that is what happens, unfortunately, gets in the way. But no biggie. We're here. We're back. There wasn't a massive amount of news, I didn't think anyway, during the last couple of weeks. Post Super Booth, post NAM, we're kind of sort of cruising along, aren't we, guys? How are you guys?
Good, mate.
Good.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent.
We are missing Mr. Andy. So why don't we, for the moment we have him missing, why don't we just go to this view? I think we can sort ourselves out with that view until he turns up. Usually we'll hear him cough or something later on.
Hum, yes.
Yeah.
He hums quite a lot. Very musical fellow.
I don't know. I kind of feel like you have a week off from a show. You miss it. Your batteries are charged. You kind of you're full bottled, and then it's kind of weird how you do things and you think, wow, there was a couple of hours where normally I'm watching the Synth Geekery show, but now I'm not doing that, and I'm kind of stuck. What do I do?
Yes. At a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a kind of weird thing, especially if you've been doing it for 7 years. You know, it becomes a routine, I guess. Anyway, nice to be back. Anyway, there is full-blown winter here in our city. I think Chris will agree. It's very chilly at the moment.
I'm actually freezing, and I should be wearing a top, but I've got to look my best. So
it's probably only going to be about 3 weeks of us being cold, and then it starts getting warm again. It's really not that long. But yeah, it's nice to have everyone. Big good day to the chatties. I've seen them all pop in slowly but surely, and it's nice. And I do hope that by taking a week off, it hasn't upset the apple cart with you guys too much. It seems that you've all moseyed on back. You guys are getting the YouTube notifications still, I'm hoping.
I've never got them, but
yep. Yes, I just got one.
Okay.
Mine's worked.
I mean, I did probably only post the show live announcement thing only about an hour or so ago, so it's possible that there's people just rocking up at the normal time and they're just hoping that the show's on. So if you did do that last week and you ran into no show, I do apologise. Look who's here. Andy's here.
Hey,
everybody.
I think I only get notifications on my iPad. Don't get them on me.
I know Andy said to me he's away somewhere at the moment. Andy. Where did you say you were, Andy?
Yeah, I'm in the Pittsburgh area for Living Dead weekend. So and I was so tired. I had just slept through breakfast. I missed breakfast down at the hotel.
Yeah.
And,
you get to have a sleep in today.
Yeah, I needed it. I slept last night pretty well, considering I had slept in the last 24 to 28 hours, something like that, about 3 hours maximum, something like that. And then a lot of driving, a lot of this and that. So it's kind of rough, but hold on, my camera keeps, there we go. So yeah, I was gonna go get a quick breakfast, and now I can't get any breakfast because I shut it off at 9. just past 9 now. I'm like, oh well.
I've got
How's it
got a
coming in?
cereal
Have a little
bar,
fun.
Yeah.
Andy. It's a cereal bar
Yeah,
for
I've
you,
got
Andy.
snacks.
Feed it down the microphone.
Yeah, but
I
I
got
like a
some.
little hash
I
browns,
got some
a little
chips,
cereal.
some crisps here if you want. You can have
Yeah.
some crisps.
Yeah.
I had a Kit Kat, but I ate it.
Ah,
Sorry, bud.
boy,
But it's funny though.
he's not a bird.
Surprisingly, walking around, I'm wearing the shirt that Tina gave me.
Nice.
Oh wow! Yeah. Great show.
And so a lot of musicians at the show, including some famous ones, are there as guests. So John Harrison, I don't know if you know John Harrison, did the score for Creepshow, which is really good. The score for Day of the Dead, which a lot of people really like.
Well, Andy, why don't we do How's Your Week Been, eh? And we'll just start with you. How's that sound?
Oh, sorry to come in and take over.
No.
All right, let's do it now. We'll do it. Andy, how's your week been?
So far, it's been amazing, but just tiring. I've been working like a maniac to get money to come to this thing because, as you know, I've been doing a lot of rideshare stuff lately, and it's not paying what it used to, and the gas prices have made it harder, and less people seem to be taking the rides. Some nights in San Francisco, could be really good in the past on the good nights, and now they're just like, so you have to put in like more time, and I don't want to nitpick or complain too much, but basically it's just, it is what it is. So I had to work a lot more hours to come to this stupid trip. And so I'm really enjoying it because a lot of my friends are here that I've met either online or through the show, and meeting new people and just going around chatting with people. Some of these actors are actually musicians. So I was chatting with one guy yesterday. He's doing a lot of George Romero stuff. And Randy Kovitz, if you know Dawn of the Dead, he's the guy at the police dock that where they pretend they don't have any cigarettes and they're about ready to take off with the helicopter.
Yeah.
There's this crazy facial expression. Very, very, very over the top broad. I talked about that. We were laughing because, he's a theater actor and he just knows how to work broad because of the stage. And he just kind of hammed it up a bit. And George was like, well, I didn't really tell him to do that, but I do enjoy it. So,
Excellent.
So we were just laughing at that. He does funk. So he's in a funk band. They're playing, I think today at like 3:00 locally. So he's leaving the show to go play with his band and then coming back. So there are a lot of musicians at the show, which is cool. Anyway, yeah, lots of cool stuff. The original cast for Dawn of the Dead is here, who's still alive. David Emge, who plays the helicopter pilot, he died a couple years ago, so he won't be here. But the other 3 actors are here, which is really cool. So, and lots of other cast and crew. It's the biggest reunion they ever had for Dawn of the Dead, 1978, since who knows when. Everyone who showed up who could, except some who are sick, or obviously some people have died. But it's an amazing show. It's mall tour on Sunday. I'm going to record that again. We have a VIP party tonight. We get to rub elbows with the people and not just at a table trying to get autographs, but actually hang out with them and drink and have snacks and stuff like that. So that's always a really cool thing. I'm going to go talk to John Harrison because, he's used to be part of Method Man, I think, and some other stuff. He knows his stuff. So, I mean, basically, Creepshow and Day of the Dead were basically scored on Prophet 5. Day of the Dead especially was a Lindrum, Prophet 5, and I think he might have had a little bit of Fairlight in there. I can't remember. And Creepshow's mostly Prophet 5 and piano and a couple other things. So he's a gear guy to a point, so I'll go chat with him a little bit about that, speaking of synthy stuff. But I don't want to go on too long, but yeah, it's just a great show, and I'm extremely tired. Well, I was more tired. Now I'm still a little bit groggy, but I'm very happy to be at the show and happy to be here and say hi. So I can hang for a little bit, then I got to go get ready to go to the show. So
Awesome. Cool. Well, nice to have you, Andy. Awesome.
Yep.
thank you.
Cool. Why don't we go to the next person, which would be Daren. How's your week been?
Good day. I'll keep it short and sweet. Just tiring working. Just getting back here, doing little bits, messing about with the case. cutting metal, bolting things together. I'm trying to. Finding out something doesn't fit and then trying to work a way around it, because you can't alter the shape of the device, or you can't alter the shape of the case. So you've got to come up with a different idea to fit it in. And then obviously cabling. I've not started that, trying to plan out the cabling inside. I'll have 2 plugs inside the case as well, so I've got to work out how I'm going to fit them in. Everything's going to be compact into the case. I mean, I'll still be taking, say, an iPad, the laptop, obviously. It'll be separate, but it'll fit into the design of the case. So when the case is open, things will move, and they won't be on actuators, but I'll be able to pull them out and then fit them into the place. So I'll start to take a little bit more, but it'll be mainly all based around the case. The brains will be in the case. Everything will be working from the case. There'll be a surprise in the centre, something cool. But I'm not going to say what it is or what it will be. And other than that, just writing a little bit of the live set, because I keep continuing that live set, and I'm trying to push up to 6 hours, so we're not far off. I think I'm at 4.5 now. So, and a little bit that Chris sent me, I've messed about with that, and I think that's about basically all I've done this week. And then it's Saturday come around again. So even though we weren't here last Saturday and I managed to do a bit of work on the case, it soon got back to Saturday. I don't know if it's because we're getting old. Time is flying, even though time is fairly constant for us. It feels like it's flying. So that has been my week.
It's a great week. Well done.
And it's been very wet the past few days. Just to
Yeah,
very wet, very wet.
Oh, we've had wet here as well, so we share the wet. Awesome. All right, heading over to the other part of England, and we've got Ian. How's your week been, mate?
hello, hi everybody. So what's happening this week? Yeah, I've been asked to join a David Bowie tribute band. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think the answer's no, if I'm honest. But anyway, I was also asked to play the August Breeze Block Beats here in Frome, which is a shame because it's when I'm up in Edinburgh. So hopefully I'm going to be able to move that to and play the one in November. If not, it'll be early next year. Finished mixing and sequencing the Wave Prophets album, which is now going to be called the Liminal Space. This Liminal Space will be out on Bandcamp on the 17th of July. Pre-orders probably next week, and I start mastering that tomorrow. I've put out a couple of reviews of the Talk book that I'm reading, which is really, really good. It's great, actually. And I've had a couple of conversations with the author about it. Started putting videos out about Edinburgh Fringe because we're heading into that country now big time. And I've sort of finished off the dance project, but I'm waiting for sign-off. So I've sent the second half. Now, the second half was no original music from me, and it was me re-editing and repurposing bits of Cats, the musical. I am sick to death of listening to Cats. And they used 2 versions. They used the film version and the stage version, and I had to edit out bits and add bits, and to make them fit the dances. Oh God, it's gone on forever. And yesterday I recorded the Next Sinners podcast with Brandon, which will be out on Monday. That's about the best 100 novels of all time, or are they? And fake TikTok accounts that are used to promote music. Anyway, that'll be out on Monday. So that's it. That's my week. It's been really good. Well, it's been longer than a week, really, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
And as always, great stuff.
Well done. Hey, Chris, how's your week been?
Hello, everyone. Yes, my 2 weeks have been sort of pretty much like they usually are, but with the addition of 3D printing, of course. So I've been writing code for my module. I've been solving problems with the electronics in my module. As I said the word solve. Otherwise I wouldn't be smiling. But I have solved them. Been 3D printing more blank panels. I did this key holder just for my keys. The first thing there is I've been mucking around with cameras for the security cameras around the house. I got one of them for the printer, and I also got a second one. So I put it at the front of the house to check on deliveries and whatnot. So that'll be useful because I get quite a lot of deliveries. And I even 3D printed a little stand for it there, which is in the same colour as the rest of the thing, so you probably can't even see it. But a little 3D printed thing there. And I 3D printed this little, designed and 3D printed this little key holder, fold-out key holder for my keys. Sort of the usual reason, got a 3D printer, you've got to do something with it. But the other reason was I was sick of them falling out of my sick of them falling out of my jeans pocket whenever I hung up my jeans. Because when you hang up your jeans, and it faces down and everything falls out of your pockets. And I was getting sick of that, so I thought, well, if I make something sort of like this and make it a bit fatter and fit in the pocket better, maybe it won't fall out. It remains to be seen whether that mission actually is achieved. But I've got a cool pocket knife key thing now, so that's good fun. So yeah, get past that. I've been doing made some little spaces for my 63 unit modular case here to get an extra half a HP out of it. That may not sound like much, but when you've got one module that just won't quite fit in, you kind of resort to things like this. Anyway, I tried that and it didn't quite work out. You probably can't see it there, but there's a bit of cardboard in there to space it out a bit further. So I'll have to reprint that one, but that's not a big deal because it only takes 7 minutes to print and uses like, I don't know, 0.01 cent or something. So that's the cool thing about 3D printing is you can kind of just iterate. So cool fun there. That's something else I'm going to show a little bit later, perhaps. I might as well talk about that now. So one of the things I've done is there's a new feature in my module that auto-tunes. Would you people like to see an oscillator being tuned in 9 seconds?
Of course.
You could. Well, let's see if I can bring it up then. Ooh, there we go. So big fat oscillator. Now it is currently showing kind of a blue colour. You can't really see it on there, but it's basically not tuned to the right bass pitch yet. So I'll just adjust that first. See, it turns green to show you that you're ready to start, and you press the button and congratulations, you've just tuned your oscillator. So that algorithm is what I'm testing
cool.
at the moment. Yeah, it's there are quite a few modules out there that do have that feature. In my case, it's kind of essential for getting an accurate pitch out of the digital and analog converters. So that was an important part of my mission in that module. And the calibration tables are readable and storable in some software. And nice little graph there because that looks cool. Over MIDI, and so that you can recall them if you have different oscillators, back them up. Maybe you do a firmware update and I tell you to reset the firmware, the memory or something like that. Everything's backupable, so that's cool. So that's what I've been doing this week, and I was rather pleased when I got that thing working. It's kind of like almost like magic when software sort of works really. It almost looks like it's alive, so that's always good fun. So milestone. And that's pretty much it for my week. I did upgrade the firmware in my swells, my intelligible swells, because they released a new firmware and you've got to update your firmware.
Nice. Anything cool in that?
Better gain staging, which I think I did notice because I don't have to turn the volume up and down as much.
Okay. On the wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Nice.
So useful stuff. Yeah.
And awkward silence means that's it.
That's it. Sorry, guys.
Fantastic. Don't ever work in radio. No. Right.
I think it's television. I shouldn't wait. You got a great face for radio.
Remember to use my little bracket. Have you guys seen these little fold-up magnet mount brackets you can get? They're like a tripod.
What are you talking about, Andy?
They fold up about this.
For your phone?
Big. Yeah, it has a little magnet thing. It folds out. I can't show it because it's already open. But
yeah, I've got one of those.
Extend this long thing. It has a tripod that goes beep at the bottom.
Yep.
They're like $50 or something like that. They're really cool.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
Really cool.
Very, very handy. Right. Okay, we should get stuck into some show stuff. Hey, what do you think? Sound good?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right.
Make me laugh. Make me laugh.
You want to laugh, or do you want to?
I want to laugh. Yeah. I want to laugh.
Okay.
Who's having a laugh?
You having a laugh? You having a
Having a
laugh?
laugh.
You having a laugh?
What do you mean? You forgot.
Oh, yes. So I said.
Patch cables. When you have everyone staring at you with disappointment on their face, you know you've done something wrong.
I used to love that show.
The EMOM is ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can't tune their oscillators, Chris.
So which show is that?
I know that show. What show is that?
Time Tunnel.
Oh, it was before. It's the one over the sea. It was.
Yes.
I can't remember what it's called.
50 Leagues Under the
Voyage to the bottom
Voice
of the.
Voice to the bottom of the sea. That was it. Yep.
Voyage to the
Voice
bottom of the sea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of cables, the last thing you should do is forget the cable mesh.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you're going to do.
Now, the last two memes were from Steve, so big shout out to Steve. I don't know if he's in the chat, but he might have gone to bed. It's late over there in Melbourne, where he's from. Anyway, plodding right along. My algorithm after watching a sampler vid. Are we all confused? I think we are. Top right's my favourite.
Yeah.
You might need to look at that a bit closer.
Ooh.
Hey, Daren. Next.
I know what that is. Yes. More than 4 buttons.
In jokes, people.
In jokes. And bikers who want to take up the piano, and pianists who want to take up biking. And we have Yamaha.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's almost like it's almost like a Venn diagram, but done with humans.
Yeah. And in the end, Yamaha have made the connection before anyone else thought
it's
of
funny.
it.
I did a youth exchange in Japan in '87, and one of the things was going to be a tour of Yamaha factory in Hamamatsu. I'm like, oh, awesome! It was a motorcycle factory. I mean, they're cool and all, but I wanted to see the music shit. So, oh well.
They're probably constantly asking whether you were ill, sir. Are you unwell, sir? No, I'm just more into synths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Well, in the chat, you guys will probably have noticed that Patch Cable Bot has started the poll.
Okay.
So you need to vote 0 for the patch cables. That will probably be Patch Cable Bot's favourite meme, I reckon, of the year. 1 for cable management, 2 for sample wars. I put Spidey in the end of that, just so a bit of a Spidey reference. And then bikers is number 3. So exclamation mark, vote, space, and the number. And if you don't know how to do it, just copy what other people are doing. That might be an idea.
I'm going for 3 because I've owned both Yamaha motorcycles and Yamaha pianos and synths.
I can tell you that there is one so far that hasn't got a vote. Oh, actually, I detract now. Everyone has got a vote.
Retract that. You retract.
Retract. Whoa, we have got a very even spread today. That's actually good. That means either the memes were not funny at all.
No, they were funny. They were funny.
It's not my problem. I didn't write them.
So in other words, did you do a good job? Is it just random probability distribution?
We have a little slight winner, but we've got past our 10 minimum that we need, I feel. If I end it right now, we do have a winner. So I'm just waiting a second or two just to see if there's a straggler that wants to come in. Based on the small amount of people that watch this show, I don't think there is. It'd be nice if the concurrent viewers would all vote, but I guess some of you people are on your phones or you're
Doing
not able to
laundry.
type. Yeah, and I get it.
We just lost a viewer. It went from 43 to 42. Wow.
Oh, jeez. They saw the votes and they
pressure.
thought stuff.
What happens when you
Too
call
much
people
pressure.
out?
Yeah.
Too much pressure. Exactly, yeah.
All right,
That's right, because I've just gained 3 because it's gone to 45.
no one else has voted, so I am going to end the poll. There we go. We have a winner, and the winner is the Bikers meme. Well done for that.
Yay.
And if you're wondering which one that was this one. Yamaha. Good job. Only by 1 point. And 5 is probably not going to get you into the end of year top meme thing. I feel like 7 and above is kind of your if you want a meme to sort of pop you up. Ask Babs. I mean, she's probably got 3 in there already.
Yeah.
She's probably going to win. I have to come up with a prize.
Speaking
Babs.
of handshakes and music, a friend who was walking around the other day had noticed two celebrities at the show had just reached forward to do a handshake, like the "Wish You Were Here" shot. Like,
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
Like an awkward kind of overreach.
Only because he was
he
on
said
fire.
He was going to take it and Photoshop and put fire on it. And stuff, so.
It's only awkward because it was on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But just that it's an unusual extend reach kind of thing. It's just-
Yeah. Right. Well, we should probably do some quizzes. Indeed. And Synth Quiz time it is. And we're trying everything we can to make your life difficult with these quizzes. I enjoy it. I get a lot of satisfaction out of it, and you hate me for it, and that even makes me even happier. So, and not to mention the fact that this week's first clue is right there. There it is. Low octave sample rate drop. Interesting clue, isn't it, that one? Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Google people. Right.
Specific.
Yes. See how we go. Right, well, I think we should do some news, considering the Synth Quiz is done and the memes are done and the news is... Jeez, we're screaming through today. Half an hour in, we're up to the news. Fantastic. Last week, the week before, we had a couple of news items lined up for the show because we weren't sure whether we'd get people suggesting stuff, and there was a heap of people suggesting stuff. We might actually do that again. I thought that was actually pretty cool fun. Anyway, these were the 2 items that I had lined up from 2 weeks ago, starting with this one, which is recovery effects larking. I love the word larking. It's good. What are you doing right now? I am larking. Indeed.
Larking.
If you don't know what that means, you probably didn't go to school. Anyway, it's an ambient drone synthesizer. That's what it is. It's 4 voices. It redefines... This is marketing speak. It redefines what a playable synth can be. I actually don't mind that. But now that they've put that comment out there, let's see if it's living up to it. So basically how it works is the pitch is quantized with each voice locking to a selectable key and one of the 8 musical notes for a consistent harmonic control. A standalone instrument for immediate tactile and performance of tonal exploration. Larking functions as a sound design tool, performance instrument, or essential voice in effects-based setups. It integrates easily into your pedal board systems, and it's a complex signal chains. It does have a bit of a pedal board sort of look to it, doesn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Doesn't have any traditional keys on it. It focuses from fixed patterns to guided harmonic discovery. Voices can be triggered via onboard controls, gates, or MIDI. Yes, you can chuck your MIDI keyboard into it. Supporting hands-on playing, modular systems, and sequencing is kind of its forte. It doesn't really want you to play it on the actual device. It wants you to sort of, I don't know, maybe play a guitar and put your foot on some of the buttons. I'm not sure what its point is, but it kind of does have a bit of a weird sort of UI in that sense. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have a look at the vid and we'll see. It's only a minute long and see what you guys think. It's cool. There we go, boys and girls. That was Larking. The video is not absolutely smashing me into the corner and saying, wow, let's buy it. But yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, looking at all the gear around it was...
Yeah, it was slightly disappointing with the video.
What we were meant to be doing, but...
I couldn't help
I
thinking...
thought it was funny. It said integrates into your pedal board, and it was just sitting next to a pedal board. That's not integrated.
Well, I was thinking about how neat is this guy's pedal board? Like, who's got pedal boards that neat? You probably can gather it's kind of one of those tonal morphing type devices. It's not the only one in the world. Excuse me, frog in my throat. It's not the only one in the world that does this, is it? So it's got some competition.
Yeah.
I quite like it, but... Sorry, go Chris.
Just price, probably a good time to ask.
Yeah, pre-order at the moment. And 431 US is the price. Actually, I don't know if that's... Is that Australian dollars? That could be Australian dollars.
That's Australian, because
Right.
I've got it at 227 UK.
That's better.
Okay. So the 431 could be Aussie dollars. Now,
That's okay.
Ian, this is just for you.
Yes, sir.
Vintage green, it comes in.
Ooh, that is a
Matte
nice
black
Yeah,
Copper
vintage
hammer
green
tone.
sounds good.
or white hammer tone.
No, vintage green, I think. I used to have a canoe that was vintage green.
It was like
As a
army
kid.
green kind of.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I was just thinking, what if you guys don't know what hammer tone is, and obviously guitar pedal aficionados will know exactly what hammer tone is.
Yeah.
But
Hammer tone.
the
Sounds
famous
like
MXR pedals have got the hammer tone sort of style,
Yeah.
right? That's the hammer tone. So you can get that would be like a silver hammer tone, or you can get copper and white with this. So the edges of this thing, that black faceplate stays the same where you got all the labeling.
Yeah.
But the rest of it would be those colours that I mentioned before. Vintage green. I thought of you, Ian. I thought
Yeah, very well. I am vintage, and it is, and
not because you're
green
vintage, but I just thought could just imagine Ian chucking this in his MG with the top down.
absolutely.
And,
if I had one, yeah.
Yeah, I know you don't.
I was
but
thinking more steam
know,
locomotive, but
definitely not one of the latest MGs. That's what I'm not talking about.
No,
Those things are crap.
My dad
no,
had
nice,
an
a nice
empty
classic
convertible.
1960s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like this, but I have other things. I mean, I've got an iPad app that'll do this for a few quid. I wanted to know, were we only listening to the pedal? I couldn't tell whether there was anything else.
He does say that
coming
it
in.
sounds only from this on the at the
Oh,
start
right,
of
that's
the video.
good. That's good. I liked it. Do I need it? No, but I did like it, and
Yeah.
I'm always looking for hardware, sort of random ambient, things.
I just wonder how variable it was. Was that pretty much what you get out of it, or was?
Well, you guys need to go and explore it. That's kind of I show
We
it
do.
here, and off you go and explore it. There are some connectivity to it. So you got gates up the top, you got CV gates up the top. You can connect to it. On the back of it,
Yeah.
there's some more connectivity.
bit of connectivity.
MIDI. What else was there? I actually couldn't find the other image for it. There's another video, by the way, too, which does a bit more stuff. So a bit longer.
Interestingly, the UK distributor is a company I've never heard of called Break the Machine. Clearly, they haven't got it yet, but I've never come across them before.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would have released it by now, Ian, because it was 2 weeks ago that I was going to show this.
Yeah, that would have been a hope, wouldn't it?
I've got questions. Is it analog? Is it digital? Is it a chip on a, is it like a Raspberry Pi in there? What is it? Let's know a little bit more about what's under the hood.
Perhaps, architecture diagram would be nice, or block diagram.
Yeah. It does have effects built into it. They did talk about onboard reverb and some sort of different algorithms within that. So that effects that you heard within the video is actually on the box itself. At one stage when I was listening to it, I thought, oh, it's that other. I think there was another pedal he had it next to.
Yeah, there is a reverb knob on the top right.
Yeah, there is.
Corner.
But the
Key and the shape. What shape is it? It's probably oscillator shape. Attack decay, LFO amount 1, LFO speed.
yeah,
Seems fairly simple on the surface.
it does. But that shot
That's not
there
a bad
had me
thing,
intrigued because I actually thought that he'd had it connected up to the polyphrase Von Gogh.
Yeah.
Because that is like a echo type machine.
Von Gun Poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Von Gogh poetry.
Gun poetry.
Yeah. So, but not obviously not. But it looks like the same cable was connected into the top of that as into the back of it to me. But anyway, obviously not in that particular video anyway. So maybe go check out the other one where he talks about it a bit more. And if you want to find out a bit more about it, it would be nice to know. I feel. Anyway, what was it? 200 and something pounds. I don't think it's too bad.
227 UK.
That's not too bad, is it?
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
No.
That's reasonable.
For it's on a musician's budget. I think we can afford something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to play it first before
Yeah,
shelling out my cash.
absolutely. I think he's aiming it at the guitarist. That's what I think. Because I know a lot of guitarists love their synths, but they don't really want to stand there on stage and have a keyboard in front of them. They don't like that. I mean, I've spoken to a few guitarists, and the most famous one I think is, that we'd all know, we've all seen it, is Bernard Sumner, right? He's a well-known guitarist.
Oh, yeah.
What he would do is he would play his guitar, and I've seen him live a few times now, and then he would walk over to wherever this table is, and he'd muck around with a drum machine, or he'd muck around with a synth,
Bang
a
some,
sequencer,
bang some drums, or
and come
twiddle
back
some knobs,
to the front and
then
play.
come back. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of guitarists prefer that sort of thing. They don't really want to have a keyboard in front of them. So, to me, that was kind of the vibe that I got with this. I felt like it was aimed at that sort of market.
That was one of the reasons the microcorg took off, right? Because it was small, easy to carry around, and it wasn't this massive keyboard that guitarists could have. They could also, muck about with it and not take up a bunch of space and all that.
And it had a good set of presets to start with.
And you can get the second version to Andy.
Oh,
Yeah, I really want that. I do want that.
It is so good. With that new firmware update, it is really
Yeah.
I recommend it. Right, let's go to the next, shall we? We have some Eurorack just for Ian. This is
Yes.
blinds. You've seen this, haven't you, Chris?
Yes, Rant, I have.
Good. I'm actually really interested in this for a lot of reasons, because it's kind of, I just think it's really, really well done. The way that they've designed their screen user interface with the controls. A lot of these products that get to Eurorack sort of level, you kind of have this standard, how do I say it, Chris? They're kind of like the standard menu divey type, typical sort of not thought out type situations. A little bit like Ornaments and Crime type, caper.
Just
kind of
EX.
numerical.
Yeah.
Very numerical and utilitarian. Not really utilising the screen in a visual sense, they're just utilising it in a functional sense.
Yeah. Now this does have menu diving in it for sure. At the start, you'll see it in the video in a sec. But its basic default is completely what you want to see. So you're not introduced with this menu, and then you're like, what am I doing? Oh God, I've got to go sit here at this tiny little module and press buttons, turn data. Do you know what I mean? So for me, that was the first thing I liked about it. Okay, what is it? It is a visual vector curve generator. What is that? what is a visual vector curve generator? There's a lot of things actually. It does offer basically a whole wide frequency range, built-in quantizer, CV scope, CV processor. It's a toolbox. It's a utility module. Obviously, you can see the USB-C connection in the middle, up top. So it invites you to connect it to your computer and do things with that. We'll talk about that in a sec. So it can be used in kind of ways similar to a wavetable VCO, a wavetable LFO, a step sequencer, and an envelope generator. So it's one of those kind of utility modules that can do a bunch of different functions. CV tool, function generator type thing. Now the onboard quantizer scales backs up, and firmware updates are managed via the external USB drive. Basically, yeah, it's commonly used in 3D modeling, animation, and vector graphics. That's kind of where it's got its... Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Which I like. Because if anyone's done computer science, they would know exactly what that is. Okay? Yeah. Or even engineering. If everyone's done an engineering degree, they'd know what that is too.
If anyone works in 2D graphics, they probably know what splines are as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you can have up to 16 user configurable points or nodes, and it much functions like a step sequencer in that sense, where the x-axis represents time and the y-axis represents voltage. So this is getting a little bit nerdy, but think about it from a music point of view. That's actually pretty clever. And then your phase time reaches the x position of a node. The 1 volt per octave output changes to the y position value at that node, and obviously that triggers whatever device you've got it connected to play that voltage on that instrument. So that's how the step sequencer works. The other thing too is there's a bit more to it than that. So for example, the nodes can be configured in a trigger setting determining the gate output going high when the phase crosses the x position. You can also connect by a spline. The shape of the spline is determined by 3 parameters: tension, continuity, and bias. Now that's really heavily related to the graphic side of things, but it's actually really clever. Like, I thought, wow, that can be quite musical when you think about the marriage of that, because tension, we have tension in music, right? We have bias in music, and continuity, not technically the word we would use in music, but you'd think of it if you think of its literal sense, there's definitely continuity in music, right? So how does that translate? Well, the tension changes how extreme the curve between the nodes is. The continuity sets the angle of the spline, and the bias would be the amplitude, I guess, of that sense. So, right, let's have a look at the vid. You're setting a scale. This is your tension.
Yeah, it's more symmetry.
Right.
Bias control.
You're getting harmonics there. This looks like a really cool, fun module. Of course it's going to do wave folding. We're almost halfway there. Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, so that's where that was coming from. I was wondering about that.
So it almost went to a sine wave.
Yeah, it's smooth. It can be smooth spine or it can be a coarse spine, depending on
Yeah.
quantization.
So you have no bit crush, it'll be smooth.
Yeah.
Anyway, that just gives you a snippet. There's a heap more in this video. You can probably see there's 22 minutes of this guy mucking around with this module. I just thought, yeah, very interesting module. Some interesting takes on. Don't just think, oh, oscillator, that I can use this as a wavetable generator or a wave shaping generator. It's
envelope generator.
You've got all those options for it.
Yeah. Why not?
He wants you to buy them all. That's what he wants you to do.
Wants you to buy several of.
Yeah. There's different colours too. I think there's a white and a black version, or a dark grey and a sort of, light grey. Anyway, 359 euros.
HP?
I actually don't know, Andy. It's at Thorn Audio. If you're wondering how to get it, let me have a look what the HP is for you. It is 10 HP.
10 HP.
Yeah.
Patch Cable is saying the Synth Quiz is closed.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Did you forget to reset it?
No, I've said
Come
it.
on, Dennis, get your act together, man.
I'll just type it
Dennis.
in again.
Naughty box.
Dennis.
He's doing his own thing.
Yeah,
I'll type it in
taking
again.
over the world.
See if it goes again. Try it now.
It's already upset. It's upset Steve.
All right, chuck your guesses in, guys.
Sorry.
Yeah, so you can find more information about this on Modular Grid. It's up there. They're saying 424 is the approximate price in US dollars.
Yeah. See, this is my only complaint about it, or my only comment about it, is that it's kind of obvious you need several of them to kind of play with, and that starts to really like it. Needing several of them straight off the bat, and being that price is potentially going to cut out a lot of people's consideration, I reckon.
I think I agree, because I mean money's tight these days at the moment, especially.
I think I would have liked to have seen that a bit cheaper.
I would like just to have one of them for now.
Okay.
I think it's a fun.
Everyone's
it's a fun module.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's
You like to drill down on something, on a concept, and just like a pure. I mean, because that's kind of your style, Rant. Sometimes it's you like to drill down and focus on a particular detail. Some people want masses of things at once, or they like the combination of many things as opposed to needing all of them. They just like a combination, like to find that combination. But yeah, no, I totally, I'm totally into that getting down into the weeds thing as well. So it doesn't put me off getting one, if you know what I mean, as well. So, but I think there will be a lot of people who'll be like, or I could get an Ornament of Crime, or the new Ornament of Crime, which is got six of these that we could run into it. It's a bit of competition there, but yeah,
it
unique.
does, but it doesn't have the visual feedback that this has.
No,
which I think
this is very nicely.
This is its strong point.
It's very much is. Definitely full marks for the visual.
The UI design of this is outstanding.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 from me.
Yeah.
I agree with your assessment on me. I mean, I find myself with a Disting Mark IV, whatever, and it would just be set and forget. And then I forget that this thing can do a whole heap of other crazy stuff, and it's just stuck in whatever mode it was stuck in that I used it for, like a tuning or a quantizer or whatever it was, And then with the Ornaments and Crime that I've got, I tend to be the same. I set it and I forget. And whereas this is kind of a little bit more of, it's already in its mode and you're not really setting and forgetting. You're just in that mode and then you just determine whether you want it as an LFO or as a VCO or an envelope generator, and then it's just tweaking based on that mode it's in. So yeah, it is kind of restrictive. I get what you're saying, but
that can be a strength, can't it?
Yeah, but it's deep in that mode.
It means you don't try to use it for something and then find that you never want to change it because you're using it. This sort of encourages you to pull out all the patch cables and start it fresh every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get exactly what you're saying, and I feel like with Ornaments and Crime, I tend to probably only use a very small percentage of what it's capable of doing, and it's just me. This is not a slap at the device at all, but I just don't. I don't use it to its full extent.
I don't think they're intended.
You pay for all those features, you want to get your money's worth, right? So.
Well, you do, but Andy, I mean, be honest with yourself. Like, do you sit there with Ornaments and Crime? I mean, you probably, surf the menus. All of us have done that. But really, in realisticness, you've probably not used all the functions in it, right? You've probably only used a few of them.
I've tried them, but I have only used maybe 2 or 3 of them on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Until the module started fritzing out on me. I haven't used it for a while.
Yeah, and I've had conversations with guys about the same thing on various socials, and they'd say the same thing. Like, I know guys who have got multiple Ornaments and Crime, even ones with Hemisphere firmware loaded, purely for that reason, because they love some of the algorithms that are in it, and they only want to use it for that because it's very, very good at what it does. So, yeah.
But another reason people leave the disting on one setting all the time is it's kind of a pain in the ass to use. It's like the little scrolling text is annoying.
Because you can't.
And you got to have a chart so you memorize what the hell each number meant. So,
that's difficulty sometimes. And
so that's why you set and forget and go, I don't have to think about it anymore. It's a quantizer now.
Yeah. This is what I love about the iPad. Having an iPad next to your modular is that you got all your manuals for all your synths and all your modules on your iPad.
Yeah.
Got to get them out.
Someone should bring out a module that just does manuals for modules. It's like, you just sort of pull it out or something. There you go.
The PCB rack module, or it's very visual.
Little librarian for you.
Isn't
it called Claude?
Yeah.
Those translation apps that use your camera and they translate. We need that for eurorack modules.
We do, like a little Siri.
Interactively go, you're looking at an icon. I can tell that it's on patch such and such, and the parameters. This knob does that. This knob does that.
You see, you're not selling it to me.
Do something
guys.
useful, Google.
No, but Ian, I would have the voice. Her name would be Ursula, and and she'd be like, you plug a cable into one of your modules, and she'd be like, that's not it.
Will she be Swedish?
Swedish. Layer upon layer. You could put another cable in here.
Are you broke or something? Upgrade your module. This is old.
I started sounding Swedish and then I turned into an Indian lady. Right.
I wasn't going to say anything.
This is getting very weird, guys.
It's
all right. It's Saturday afternoon. It's fine.
He shouldn't do accents.
It's what modular does to you.
This is what we're going to look at next, guys. We're going to look at this.
The Model D synth sound. It is utterly legendary, a sound we've heard on so many classic records, and a go-to, a must-have for bass synth and lead sounds for many, many decades. And back in 2018, we released our version into the eurorack format with, of course, the Behringer Model D. But what if you wanted something even more portable than that? Impossible, I hear you say? Come on, man, nothing is impossible. Look at this little synth here. This thing is analog. So let's plug it in, let's check it out, let's make a beat. Introducing the Behringer D Mini.
Dramatic pause.
For the B soul.
Right, let's not listen to him anymore because that's a bit mean. I shouldn't be so mean. We are going to talk about it. There it is there, the Behringer D Mini. It is obviously modelled after the Moog Model D. Guys, a couple of things. This is basically a Volca keys. It's in its
Volca.
In its architecture. So it's got
Paraphonic.
how many voices? How many voices? 3. Exactly. What does the Volca keys have? 3.
And the light-up touch pads and all that.
Yeah, it's paraphonic. It does have a
paraphonic,
poly mode, but obviously with the poly mode, it only has the one envelope controller with the filter and all that sort of stuff, right? So it's kind of a bit weird to play. I don't know if you've ever played a Volca keys, but it's a little strange. But what I think they do well is they do unisons and they do the fifths and all those kind of other modes very, very nice. So yeah, I think this will sell. I honestly think it's a great idea because people love the Moog sound. This has probably got very, very decent Moog sound in it. The only thing I kind of think it probably misses is that if it does have the 3 oscillators in it, you're not really able to sort of set them like a Model D, are you, in this case?
Yeah. Or one's the LFO and all that stuff.
No,
Yeah.
because it's a unified detune rather than a individual access to individual oscillator.
Access to individual waveforms, access to individual mixing, all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah. So it's basically, it's like if you had a Model D and everything was all stuck on the same setting, and whenever you change the setting, everything changed to that setting. Yeah.
But hey, it's just like a Model D, right? So
With super glue, yeah. But it's cheap, Rants. It's very cheap.
I like this.
Wags thinks it's only got one VCO. Would it be divide? How would it do the poly? Would it be some sort of trick divide down sort of thing in its architecture? Maybe, I'm not sure. It's got to have some. To me,
It's definitely paraphonic. I checked. Yeah.
How would it be able to detune?
well, to be analog and be that small, it'd have to be some trickery, right?
Yeah,
Well, there's as I said, these unified control voltages, so they all follow the same waveform. They follow this the G-tune circuit is very macroized. The differences between them is set by the switch. Unified bass pitch, unified envelope and filter, because that's VCA and VCF, so I guess it's no big deal. But yeah, no, but I believe they're individual oscillators. If you listen to the rest of the video, there's definitely just some poly stuff.
well, it does say oscillator on the panel, and they're saying in chat they think it's just one oscillator. But yeah, I guess if there's some hack way of making one oscillator detune itself and replicate itself in a circuit, I guess there's ways to do it. You could.
But you don't have the flexible ways to make the beating different on all the oscillators, right? So.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, the point of this is not that you can get the other Behringer Model D and then you've got everything that a Model D Moog has. That's not the point. The point of this is a little pocket thing for fun.
Yeah.
And actually, when you think about it, it's got a lot of stuff on it. It's got the noise. It's got white and pink noise. It's got a decent filter on there. I think it's pretty cool.
I think the
Less than
unification of,
£100.
I think the combination of the sort of the Volca keys style, sequencing and voicing with the Model D sort of engine is genius. I think it's genuinely new. I mean, you don't have a step sequence on the Model D. You don't have unified detune.
You don't have a keyboard on the.
You don't have
essentially quick one, yeah.
paraphony. You don't have paraphony. It's a pain in the ass to try and do paraphony with it.
Does this have knob recording like the Volca has? Can you do that kind of automation?
believe it does.
This does have
I think
recording,
filter cutoff.
It's recording.
Seconds.
parameter recording, like the Volkers do. If it's the same as all the other, mini things that Behringer do, they've basically just copied Volkers. It's not a 100% copy of Volker though. There's things that are different, but it's very, 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 very similar. Yeah, absolutely. To some degree, some people say that the Behringer stuff is better because it's got more variety. So I don't know. I don't want to get into those arguments though.
Yeah.
Cheaper
for
and
its
better.
price, it's great.
Yeah, I kind of. Sean said if it had an input for the filter, it would be great. I agree. I was kind of looking for the audio in. I think that would have been just a nice little extra touch.
Yeah.
But maybe they just didn't have enough circuitry room to squeeze it in. I'm not
Is
sure.
there built-in feedback circuitry to avoid the audio in missing?
There wouldn't be because there wouldn't be because there's nothing on the panel to suggest that either, right? If you look at the panel, there's no.
I can't read it from here. Okay.
Yeah, right. Well, there's a headphone out, right, and there's audio
At
out.
the bottom.
Yeah, but
That's
there's
the
no.
little trick they missed if they didn't add that.
Yeah.
I think once you've got a different voicing structure and you can't tweak every single parameter like on the Model D, the feedback trick isn't really nearly as useful. So it kind of doesn't make sense in this context, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there seems to be some a little bit weird. Like the guys in chat are saying on the website, it says a single VCO offering 5 selectable waveforms. But what's poly then? Okay, if it's a single VCO, how does it have poly? So it can't be a single VCO, can it? Right? If it's offering polyphonic.
Yeah, I think it's a translation
Yeah.
glitch, so to speak. I think they're trying to say is one oscillator shape.
Yeah, it's a single VCO
One oscillator
per
shape,
voice. That's probably what they're saying, per voice, right? Which I think is probably the correct way of saying it, isn't it?
It should be.
Just
one
don't show this to Mark
voice.
Doty; he'll go all over it. Just the alert
Yeah, if it said
verbiage. So
if it said 3 voice, 1 VCO or something, but yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, I think in this case it might be an issue with the press,
Yeah.
not so much the synth.
But anyway, the bottom line is that apparently, from the information that I've got, is it works the same as a Volker keys does. So you would have 3 voices. In the poly mode, in the unison mode, it would unison stacking the 3 voices together, and the detune would then slightly detune those 3 voices. And I believe it's in a zigzag detuning algorithm, so it separates them. Yeah.
Well, there's only 3, so it's easy to put one in the centre, the other
Yep.
one left, and the other one
One
so to
right.
speak. Yeah,
Like a zigzag, yeah.
up, down, yeah.
And obviously the 5th is pretty obvious how that's going to work. And then you've got the ring and poly and so the ring and poly ring is exactly the way the Volker keys works. I don't know if you have the carrier and the that's how it works, right? So yeah, there you go. We goes on to it. The manual on their website says portable legendary synth with 3 VCOs. The thing is, maybe this is the problem, right? Maybe someone in admin or marketing admin or whatever you want to call it has copied the text from the other Behringer Model D
Exactly.
and then cut and pasted it in and gone, oh shit, hang on a minute, we can't say it's got 3 VCOs because it doesn't. It's got 3 voices.
or they had AI write it and it messed it up as usual.
Yeah, or they had AI, exactly. Claude or whatever.
Absolutely.
How many AIs are there now? Anyway, whatever you do, guys, don't trust AI because it will let you down constantly.
Yeah, you got to check it.
You do more than
best
check
friend.
it. You've got to slap it.
Talks to me.
Slap
It loves
yeah.
me. My AI loves me.
Yeah,
You've
you
got
do.
to
don't you?
constantly put it down until
You've got to
it's
be
crap.
firm with. You got to be firm with it, don't you? Yeah.
I mean, right now AI is
Starts
actually handling Andy's video. There we go. He's
What
actually
happened there?
Andy's actually
I didn't even
turning
move my
his
phone.
whole hotel room upside down.
I decided that he wasn't at the right view.
Let us know in chat if you're going to buy one of these. I actually just would be interested to know. I'm just going to put a little poll up. Let's do a little poll. Start a poll. Buy. Would you buy? I'll use proper English. A Behringer D Mini? Question mark. Yes. No. Start.
If I didn't already have one, probably. I'd actually know. Actually, thinking about it, 170 quid. I'm better off buying the desktop Model D.
Oh, if you don't have a desktop, I thought you had one in. But if you don't have one,
I have one. Yeah, so I'm saying that. Yeah. If I didn't have it, would I buy this or would I buy the desktop? I think I'd still buy the desktop.
I'd still buy the desktop. Yeah.
You know,
This was cool for like a
the
triple
iPad
now.
version.
Very, very small, packed in a
to
bag.
it, I said yes, in addition to.
I got rid of all my Volkers and I don't miss them at all.
No.
Yeah, mine are in cupboard, yeah.
I mean, I
What's the
I
good
had
ones?
fun.
The Buchla one is good. The vocal
I had
drum is
fun with
good.
them when they were here. I had fun with them.
Oh,
I made
yeah,
made some music with them,
yeah,
but I don't miss them. We've got 80% saying no at the moment. Interesting. I mean, look, there's a fair few people here. There's over 50 people watching the show right now. That's a pretty good indication of what the market is. These are synth people watching the show, so it's the right demographic. And if 80% of people are
a lot of
saying
people
no,
are still kind of anti-Behringer too, I think. So
I mean, I got one of them sort of like Volk or Behringer keys. I got
I call them bulkers.
one. Would I buy another one? It'd have to be something that, really think, oh, yeah, I quite like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. This wouldn't. It'd have to be something. I wouldn't get another one. Let's put
More
it that way.
special.
Not saying there's nothing wrong with this because
Yeah,
I like
don't-
using it.
Yeah, you don't want a lot of them hanging around. I know what you mean, Darren.
there you go. 18 people voted, Darren, and 78% said no.
18.
Good
Yeah,
crowd
I
spoken.
would, especially with a bigger version of these.
Let us not speak more anymore.
Say, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another little mini. I'm sure they'll probably do the whole of what Behringer making these at some point. They'll clone themselves in a mini version.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe do
I've said it before.
So the Model D Micro.
I think they're great for starters. So, you buy your kid one of these to get him into using a synthesizer. They're great for stuff like that.
All right. Next. What about this thing? This thing's interesting, isn't it? Have you guys seen this?
What is it? No.
This is the FX1 by a company called Benny Dub. I have to warn you, the video's interesting.
Uh-oh.
I'm thinking dreadlocks and smoky.
No.
grooves.
Nothing like that. You'll see. Here we go.
Introducing Benny Dub FX1. All in one like that. Check it.
And then the orb kicks in.
I mean, Chris is right. I'm waiting for Pot Smoke to come walk you through the scene. But
I stand by my dreadlocks comment.
Have they not seen the Teenage Engineering Rhythm?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, man.
This guy just wants a little box that makes little synthy sounds and annoys the crap out of everyone at his little DJ performance. He's made it, and you can buy it if you think it's kind of what you want. Not sure if it's what I want. I don't even know the price of this thing.
Was that a spring reverb sat at the side of it, by the way?
That was a
that
spring
connected
reverb,
to it?
Darren. You
Tank,
saw
yeah.
it. Yes, you did.
Spring tank.
Your
indeed.
eyes were not deceiving you. Yeah. It's a bit
Important
interesting.
part of dub music, yeah.
I mean, I had to show it because it's synth related, but it's not at the same time.
It is, but it's unashamedly synthesizer. So.
Now, are you guys sitting
way.
down? I'm going to tell you the price.
Yeah, go on then.
Dearie me. It's 1,199 euros.
Yeah, what?
You are joking.
What?
King Cubby's in his grave going, what the hell are you guys doing?
that would only make sense after the room has gotten smoky.
Nah, he's having a laugh.
Don't think it is, mate. You should have read that right, Rand. Check it
I
up.
did.
Check it. Have you been
I'm
smoking?
on his website, Darren. I'm literally on his website.
Yeah, no, but you were.
Oh man.
Who's taking the
All I
vape?
can say is that getting that colour silk screen done must be really expensive.
So
I'm
Darren,
so glad I
you
got
were
rid of
correct. You can buy a compatible spring reverb tank. You can have a Type 8 or a Type 4 or a Type 9. Whatever you do, just don't type LOL. The 40 euros price tag for the spring reverb tank on the top of it, I would say was kind of interesting compared to how much this thing is on its own. Yet the spring reverb tank is dirt cheap. It's kind of weird. I might just buy the spring reverb tank.
But seriously, you want to charge that much and that's your demo video? That's just, give me a break.
Okay, so what it is, it's a sound FX generator, dub, echo, and mic and aux input box. So the whole point of this is kind of guys who do things at clubs, pubs, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
MCing. This is kind of what it's for. And it's, it's one of those dubs, DJ tool things, and probably there's a market for it, I guess. Not sure personally.
I think it depends what you use it, in what style you use it, and I bet you can get some other interesting things on it rather than that. But I can't get over the price. Hang about. Let me just rewind that.
Darren's double took. Darren, I was actually thinking that you would have picked up on the lick shot. Because it does have a lick shot on there. It is. People should know what a lick shot is. It's a classic, sound generator.
Lick. Yeah, you bring the lick.
Yep.
We bring the lick.
Anyway, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. There's FX volume. There's tuning. There's
Goddamn need to be.
LFO. There's echo volumes, filtering, delays, feedback, loop cuts, output volume, VU meters, mic echoes. A whole bunch of stuff in this thing. It's pretty. It's got a fair bit in here. I don't know if it's got 1,100 euros in there. Well, it won't have 1,100 euros in there because you've given that to him to buy this. It'd be devoid of 1,100 euros. Yeah,
it's not that big neither, is it? I was going to say, is it built well? But just judging by his hand then when I went back, it's not exactly.
Yeah.
It's not.
He probably shouldn't have used his
I
fingers.
bet it's the size of an iPad at the most.
Well, I can tell you he's probably getting a few lick shots in. So, guys, thoughts? In chat, let us know if you're going to be buying the FX one.
No, buy a bloody Teenage Engineering Rhythm. 300 quid.
Yeah.
It's got all the same sounds in it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you the video because honestly, that video that has to go down as being one of the most bizarre ones for the year. That's for
Fine
sure.
MPT one for that.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
definitely teenager.
Yeah.
The juxtaposition of the extremely sort of calm movements in the video versus the actual sound was kind of funny.
You didn't have any hot knobby guy on there, though, did you?
It's like
No hot faders, yeah.
It's
No hot
kind of like,
knobs.
I don't think this guy's truly committed to doing dub music. It's just like,
I mean, you should have had a live mic and done like the fresh.
sweat blowing around, and
He didn't
lights
even have
flashing.
the extensive mic, the gold shiny bling.
Yeah, I have a gold mic.
Yeah.
It's just this TV gold mic. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's news, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, because I was actually kind of excited about bringing you guys news this week. I know there's some other stuff. I tell you what. Do you want it next week? If it's light on news, do you guys want to do another? Chatties. Let us know what you want to talk about. News. I think that was good fun. That was last week.
No
last
objection,
week before. Yeah. All right. Let's head to Synth Quiz Central, and we'll give you another clue. Hey. Clue number 2. Ready? Bang. 2 character code input. 2 character code input. That's an interesting clue, that one. Get your clues in,
Can
and
I
you know
just say,
what?
I'm thinking something sequential, the 2 LED character thingies.
Well, keep thinking, because Ian's rubbing his hands together.
Oh, I am. Sorry, I was away there. I was thinking it. So, welcome to the 13th of June. On this day, 1865, was born today Irish poet, dramatist, and prose writer William Butler Yeats, one of the greatest English language poets of the 20th century and winner of the 1923 Nobel Prize for Literature. Jumping to 1948, again, another birthday, British cellist, arranger, conductor, and composer Paul Buckmeister. Now, you might not know Paul Buckmeister, but after leading a small orchestral group during a 2-month tour with the Bee Gees, of all people, in 1968, he started his career as an orchestral arranger with various hit songs, including David Bowie's Space Oddity in 1969, and contributing orchestral collaborations with a number of early albums by the Rolling Stones, including Sticky Fingers in 71. He died on the 7th of November 2017, aged 71. 1951, another birthday, Howard Lee's American rock band Heart, who scored the 1981 US number 1 and number 3 hit Alone, which I have to say, I love Heart, they're great.
Agree.
And Heart was sold over 3... Sorry, say again?
I said I agree wholeheartely.
Yeah,
They're
Heart's
great,
very
absolutely
talented.
brilliant. And not only the hits either. I've got 2 or 3. Yeah, they sold over 35 million records worldwide, so not to be sniffed at. Also born today, 1957, Ralph Brendel from German group Nina, who had 1984 UK number 1, yes, and US number 2, 99 Red Balloons. The track made them a UK one-hit wonder. I don't think they had another hit, did they? But a great song.
They did in Germany, but not in the UK.
We
in
played
the
the
UK,
German
yeah.
here a
No.
lot. I barely heard the Red Balloons. We heard the 99 Luftballons.
Yeah, the German version.
Luftballons.
Yeah, Luftballons.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
The German version's better.
Yeah, it is.
It is actually, yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah. So 1964, the Beatles, who were they, performed another 2 shows at the Centennial Hall in Adelaide, South Australia. For the 4 shows that the Beatles performed in Adelaide, there were 12,000 tickets, with 50,000 requests being placed to buy tickets. The 2 shows on this day were drummer Jimmy Nichols, last as the temporary Beatle, because Ringo Starr had been ill. Ringo joined the Beatles in Melbourne the next day. 1966, Frank Sinatra was at number 1 in the UK singles charts with Strangers in the Night, composed by Burt Kampfer, with English lyrics by somebody called Charles Singleton, never heard of him. Sinatra's recording won the Grammy Award for the Best Male Pop Vocal Performance and a Grammy for Record of the Year in 1966. Also born today, happy birthday to David Gray, 1968. Singer, his massive hit was the White Ladder album, which I
Babylon.
have got, in Babylon, number 5 single
Yep.
in 2000. I mean, and the story goes that he almost gave up the music business because I think he'd released 2 or 3 albums before that, and he was literally down to his, he was skint, and he recorded it in his bedroom, that type of thing, and then it became this absolutely huge hit. It's a great album with some great songs, So jump also in 1968, we've got a birthday for Ben Lurie, guitarist from the Scottish alternative rock band Jesus and Mary Chain. The band revolved around songwriters partnership who were constantly fighting, William and Jim Reed. There's a really good book about the rise of the Jesus and Mary Chain. It was chaos, that band, apparently. The band's biggest commercial success was on their second album, Darklands, which I have to say I've never heard. They reached number 5 in the album charts and spawned the hit single April Skies, peaking at number 8 in the UK. Born today also, 1969, Søren Rasden, Danish-Norwegian Euro dance group Aqua, who scored the 1997 UK number 1 hit, Barbie Girl. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the song topped the charts worldwide. My friend, John Collins, hello, John, if you're watching. I've not been in touch. Ring me. I haven't seen him for ages, for years. He was their road manager for a while, was John. He's from York, he's John. I played in a band with him back in the 80s. And he said they were an absolute nightmare to work with. Absolute terrible. The group caused controversy for the double entendres of the Barbie Girl single, with Mattel filing a lawsuit against the group. The lawsuit was finally dismissed by a judge in 2002 who ruled, this is the best bit, the parties are advised to chill. The group sold us an estimated 33 million albums and singles, making them the most profitable Danish group ever. But they were a nightmare, according to John. So 1970, we had In the Summertime was at number 1 by Mungo Jerry. The song was written and composed by the band's lead singer Ray Dorsey while working in a lab for Timex. And the lyrics are celebrating the carefree days of summer. The song was recorded in Pie Studios number 1 with a guy called Barry Murray as producing, and initially was 2 minutes long, so it's really short. To make it longer, Murray played the recording twice, slightly remixing the second half and putting in a motorcycle sound in the middle. So just to be different, really. So when your song's too short, just make it twice as long.
Just double it.
Yeah, exactly. Or reverse it. I'll get into the middle and reversing it. Yeah, cut and paste. 1970, the Beatles started two. yeah. 1970, Beatles started a 2-week run at number 1 in the US singles chart with Long and Winding Road. The group's 20th US number 1 album, Let It Be, started a 4-week run at number 1 on the same day. And the 12th and final studio album by the Beatles, recorded in January 1969, before the recording and release of Abbey Road. I actually think Abbey Road is their best ever album, if I'm honest. Also in 1970, Grand Funk Railway supported Steel Mill, featuring some bloke called Bruce Springsteen, appearing at the Ocean Ice Palace in Bricktown, New Jersey. Tickets were a massive $5.
Those were the days.
So, 1975, Peter Frampton played the first of 2 nights in San Francisco's Winterland Ballroom. Recordings from these 2 shows and several others were made up the singer-songwriter and guitarist legendary double album, which I do own, Frampton Comes Alive. It's a great album if you've not heard it. And while forming Humble Pie, the co-founder hadn't seen significant sales as a solo act, and his live debut became a runaway hit, resulting in a top 15 US single, Show Me the Way, Baby I Love You, Do You Feel Like We Do, and topped the Billboard 200 for 10 consecutive weeks. In addition to becoming a best-selling album, Frampton Comes Alive remains one of the best-selling live albums of all time, and continues to rank as one of the greatest live albums ever. I would certainly agree with that. Debbie Harry and Meatloaf were in a film today, 1980, called Roadie. And I have seen Roadie. It is pants. It premiered and critics absolutely hated it. I think it got 1 out of 5 stars from some of the journalists, or 1.5 stars, something like that. Rotten Tomatoes now gives it a massive score of 14%. So it's not.
It's massive.
It's not brilliant.
I remember when it came out.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah, it's not great. It's got lots of other rock type people in it as well, if I remember rightly. It's a long time ago. 1987, Whitney Houston scored her first #1 album in the UK with Whitney. The singer's second album, which was held the top spot for 6 weeks with such hits as I Want to Dance with Somebody. And at home in the US, the album made Houston the first female artist to debut at the top of the Billboard 200, while the LP's first 4 singles, including those noted, all appeared at #1, also making Houston the first female artist to achieve this feat. I always said, Whitney Houston, great voice, but I did used to call her Mrs. Wobblygob.
Of course.
You see the videos where she's her jaw's going like crackers, really. Anyway, 1989, piano playing rock singer Jerry Lee Lewis gets a start on Hollywood Walk of Fame, although Lewis's turbulent personal life was hidden from public until May 1958. When he was on a British tour when Ray Berry, a newsagent reporter at London's Heathrow, and apparently the only journalist there, learned that Lewis's third wife, Myra Gale Brown, was 13 years old when she married Lewis. And Lewis, who was 22 at the time, claimed that she was actually 15. The publicity caused such an uproar that the tour was cancelled after 3 shows. 1995, Jagged Little Pill, brilliant album, third studio album by Alanis Morissette, is released, and to mark the Canadian actresses and singers-songwriters' third album spawned 6 popular singles, including Ironic, You Learn, You Ought to Know, and it was in the US top 10 for 72 weeks. Jagged Little Pill earned 5 Grammy Awards and went on to become one of the best-selling albums of all time. It's worth noting that she, I think it was last year or maybe 2024, 2025, she did a really good ambient album. It's all instrumental. You should check it out. It's brilliant. Not what you'd expect from Alanis Morissette. Also in 1995, Bjork released her second art pop solo album, Post. The album featured an eclectic mix of electronic and dance styles such as techno, trip hop, IDM, and house, alongside ambient jazz, industrial, and experimental music. Bjork produced Post herself with co-producers Nelly Hooper and 808 States Graham Massey, the former Massive Attack member Tricky. She wrote most of the songs after moving to London, good on her, and intended the album to reflect her new life in the city. 2000, a roadie who had worked with the Spice Girls, Oasis, Elton John, and Whitney Houston was arrested and charged with smuggling millions of pounds worth of ecstasy into the UK. The arrest made notable entertainment news, headlining at the time, and he's archived across the music industry's platforms as notorious instances, surprise, surprise, of drug trafficking associated with touring music crews. 2003, Arctic Monkeys, never heard of them, made their live debut at the Grapes pub in Sheffield. They received £27 from ticket sales. And having looked at the picture of the Grapes, it's still there at this pub. It's not the best pub in the world. It still plays music, although they don't have rock bands on anymore. But they are really living out on the fact that the Arctic Monkeys did play their first gig there. 2005, a jury in Santa Monica, California, acquitted some pop singer called Michael Jackson for molesting a 13-year-old Gavin Arvios at the Neverland Ranch. Jackson was cleared of all charges of child abuse by the jury of 8 women and 4 men at the end of a 16-week hearing in Santa Maria, California. Jackson was found not guilty of all 10 charges, including abusing a 13-year-old boy, conspiracy to kidnap, and supplying alcohol to a minor to assist with the felony. And we know how that all ended up. Anyway, 2008, Viva La Vida single released by Coldplay. make Coldplay history. Their first US number one. Sorry. I'm sorry. And it was Grammy Song of the Year. But Coldplay were accused of plagiarism for the melody of this song by American band Creaky Boards. Never heard of them. Their singer, Andrew Hoffenheim, claimed that Martin had heard them playing the piece, the song I didn't write, at a live show in October 2007. Where there's a hit, there's a writ. They also published a video comparing the two songs. That's not all. In December 2008, American guitarist Joe Satriani filed a copyright infringement lawsuit against Coldplay on the song and declared that it incorporated substantial original portions of its composition, If I Could Fly. The court case was later dismissed by the Californian Central Court, and each party paying their own costs. There's more. In May 2009, British musician Cat Stevens, stated that Vida La Vida was similar to Foreigner Suite, composed in 1973. And after talking to his son about it, his son is actually Cat Stevens' manager. Stevens was informed that any legal action he intended to take depended on how well Satriani did. Now, obviously, he didn't do very well, so he didn't. He said, they did copy my song, but I didn't think they did it on purpose. Oh, I'm not sure about that. I don't want them to think I'm angry with them. I'd love to sit down and have a cup of tea with them and let them know it's okay. Good on you, Cat.
Coldplay famously have ripped off been heavily influenced by the melodies of certain other electronic groups as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I know.
Looking at you, Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
Ian, did you know that Squeaky Boards, you said you didn't know who they were?
Yeah, I didn't know who they were.
Yeah, well, I can tell you who they're not. They're not the Carpenters, that's for sure.
They're not they're definitely not the Carpenters. No.
You need to make a sample.
So where were we? So 2002, the Rolling Stones cancelled a concert in Amsterdam due to their singer Mick Jagger testing positive. I won't do the Mick Jagger impersonation. Testing positive for COVID-19. 2023, not music related, but we always like a little bit of politics. Donald Trump became the first former US president to be charged with federal crimes. As he was in arraignment in Miami courtroom, he pleaded not guilty to 37 felony charges that related to the alleged mishandling of classified documents. And we all know how that ended out. And 2024, Taylor Swift, yay! Thousands of Taylor Swift fans made the earth move by cheering and dancing at her 3 Edinburgh concerts last weekend. Fans took the singer's encouragement to shake it off, literally, with monitoring stations detecting seismic activity 3.75 miles away. And it was reported how Swift's 3-night stint at the Murrayfield Stadium in Edinburgh in Scotland had an unbelievable impact on the city's hospitality industry, with thousands of Swifties swamping the bars, cafes and tourist attractions across the city. And lastly, not today, but 2 days ago, we lost one of the UK's greatest artists in David Hockney, English painter, stage designer and photographer, an important contributor to the pop art movement in the 1960s. He was considered one of the most influential British artists of the 20th, 21st century. Born in Bradford, good old Yorkshireman, in 1937, and in 1998 he compiled a painting of a Yorkshire landmark called Garraby Hill, which was 5 miles from my house. I used to go up and down it all the time. Hockney returned to Yorkshire with increasingly longer stays, and in 2003, he painted the countryside in both oils and watercolour. Hockney set up residence and a studio in the converted bed and breakfast in the seaside town of Bridlington, which was about an hour away from me. And I did meet one of his neighbours when he was living in Bridlington. She literally came into the shop. I mean, she said she was his neighbour, but she said, "Oh, I know Dave. He lives just down the road from me." So anyway, rest in peace, Dave. You are missed. And lastly, the charts. UK single, I Knew It, I Knew You by Taylor Swift is number 1. Actually, it's okay. It's off Toy Story 5, apparently. And the album is Nile Horan, don't know this, but I've had to listen to it. It's all right. Dinner Party. Top film right across the board is Scary Movie 6. The US, Ariana Grande is number 1 with Hate, That's I Make You Love Me. And the number 1 album is Drake, still with Iceman. And in Australia, You're Still in Love with Olivia Dean. And as a single, Man I Need, I mean, that's so last year, isn't it? And number album is Noel Khan with The Great Divide. That's
They've
just
got to tell the radios to stop playing it. That's what they've got to do.
I know, yeah. Actually, I don't think I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's that good a song. Thank you.
One other one I'd like to add is in 2014, a guy by the name of Jim Keys. You guys might know Jim Keys. He died at the age of 67. He was one of Australia's notable rock singers with Masters Apprentices, and he sang the famous song "Turn Up Your Radio."
I don't know that.
Go listen to it. It's a great song.
I will do. Right, cool. Good stuff.
I got a couple quick things before I have to run off to the convention, but along the lines of what Ian was saying, do you guys know that song "Barracuda" by Heart? You know what it's about? It's kind of wild. Actually.
I don't know what it's about.
It's about a creepy producer that was trying to get them to do more sexy imagery and posing. It's like, we're sisters. We're not going to be posing more nude or kissing or doing risque stuff in your little photography stuff, right? So he was such an asshole, they made a song about him, the Barracuda, right? It's a real aggressive guy.
Good on him. Good on him.
So, pretty interesting. I heard an interview with the other day. And another interview brought up another thing. You mentioned the guy who was copy and pasting his music to extend it, basically. There's the famous Joe Walsh song, Life's Been Good, which is has some great riffs in it.
Yeah.
It was a copy-paste job. They had some acoustic guitar stuff from the studio. They had some of the actual opening riff. They had some other parts. And the engineers just kind of cobbled it together in the studio to make a song from all these different elements. So it's kind of funny how that...
Great song.
Even back then, people were doing stuff like that.
That's happened a few times.
Yeah, for sure.
But
it's
the
great
beginning
songs.
of one
Anyway,
track onto the other.
I got to go, guys. So thank you.
All right. Well, before you
Good to
disappear,
see you,
Andy, you may want to have the last clue because I know you do.
Oh, sure.
You have the last clue. I think this one's going to set the world on fire. Here we go. Last clue. Bang. 8-bit German wavetables. Wow. Let that one sink into you.
Wow. It's very specific.
Very specific.
Waldorf? Something Waldorf?
Yeah, basically.
Anyway, we will let that one sink in because I think a lot of people are now off on a tangent with what their previous guesses might have been.
Too late.
Cool. Well, good stuff. Thanks, guys. I'll catch
Thanks,
you later.
Andy. All right.
See you later. Cheers, Andy.
We'll be wrapping the show up pretty soon anyway. So, with that last clue, get your clues in because I'll reveal what the answer is very soon. I think, do we have anyone that's guessed it yet?
Yeah, me and Magoo have. Probes has.
Right. Okay.
3 of them.
Okay. All right. Okie dokies, we'll leave it for that for a sec. What was the other thing I was going to mention to you, Ian, about the On This Day? God, there was definitely something in there that I was going to... Oh, 1981 was the one I was thinking of. Chris Evans was born, known for portraying Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, right.
That Chris Evans. Yeah.
That Chris Evans, not Chris Evans, the UK DJ.
Yeah, Chris Evans is the
ginger
actor.
nut.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first.
Famously weedy.
Captain America.
Did you mention the thing about the John Lennon? Because there's a John Lennon mention.
I had it down, but did I skip it?
I think you might have skipped
About
it.
him playing his last. I skipped it. His last ever performance.
There's an eerie twist to that, right? So that was his last ever final television appearance, and he actually did the salute
75. Yeah.
to Sir Lou, which was the Master Showman, where he performed Imagine and Stand By Me and those sort of songs. And there was kind of some really weird, eerie, creepy sort of connotation with that because you know that he was assassinated not long after that, right? So, yeah, 1975. It doesn't seem like 1975, but that's a long time ago, isn't it?
It's not actually.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, we were young. You know, we were like
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
back
We
then.
were alive.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I guess it just so reverberated for many, many, many years. It just stuck as being something that recently happened. But obviously, as time goes on, it's not recent anymore, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We think of it as modern, but it really was.
I mean, it still is
I've seen
technically modern, right? It's not ancient or anything.
Yeah.
So, like me.
I've seen the Dakota building from across the river. When I last went to New York, it was pointed out on a, you know, that's where he was shot outside the building. You know, I didn't want to go over. I really didn't want to go. You know, it becomes sort of a bit macabre to go and, you know, see the actual spot. I don't want to do that. You know.
So how old was John Lennon? He was only in his 50s, wasn't he, when he died?
I think was he less than that? I just said he might have even been on his 40s. Let's just have a quick look.
I mean, it's too young to die, isn't it? You know.
Absolutely. So it was 1980.
Oh, you'd been in his 40s, wouldn't he?
He was exactly 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was. I
40,
remember he was
yeah.
born in the early parts of the 1940s, right? Was he born in 1940? The year 1940?
He was born, yes, 1940.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And died in 1980, so literally just 40. Yeah.
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 Well, there you go. That's way too early to go. You know, he was only just getting started.
We watched I think it's on Netflix. No, it's not on Netflix. It's on Disney. There's a series of Beatles, the anthology. It's a fairly new series, and that's actually really, really good because I mean, there's so many of these sort of Beatles documentaries, but there's lots of footage that you haven't seen before, you know, and it goes right from where they met, when they met, and all of that. And I did do the Beatles Magical Mystery Tour years ago, and you go around to Paul McCartney's house, and he was actually privately owned then when I went round, and they'd bricked up the window, and our guide says, and this is the window that John Lennon and Paul McCartney started writing songs together. But it's actually, you can see where the outline of the window was, but it's all bricked up.
Yeah.
I think they might have turned it into a museum now. I know they've knocked down Ringo Starr's house because that was there's all these tenement streets that they knocked down.
Got crashed into by Thomas the Tank Engine.
Well, before we
I
keep
did.
going off on massive tangents, let's reveal what the answer is for the Synth Quiz, because we don't have anyone, I don't think, yet that's guessed it. So I am going to stop quiz. Bang. And we'll wait for the... Yeah, we go. The answer to the quiz this week is the PPG Wave.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's 2 characters.
Now,
Yeah.
the trick to this week was done on purpose, and that was to prevent people from Googling
Well,
the
it was upset.
friggin' answers, right? So going forward, we are going to be not giving people direct panel names and things that you can scrape off of the internet in the manual. We will be giving you cryptic questions that relate to the synth, that might be a little bit of general knowledge on how the synth is quirky or operates or something along the lines of that. Or it might be cryptic in the sense that, like I said, 8-bit German waveforms, you know, that was a little hint to the synth being made in Germany. Or maybe the designer might have been German, you know, the engineer. Mm-hmm. So there you go. So who do we have as a winner this week? Let's have a quick look. We have Droigen with Waldorf Wave, which is pretty close, but no cigar. We had Deadman with Ensonic EPS. We had Chris with the Ensonic Mirage. We had Wags with the Ensonic Mirage. And we have Steve Smith with the Deckard's Dream. So, yeah. And I noticed that the Waldorf wave was only given once I said German, so
Yeah.
Bit of a
so
shotgun, yeah.
yeah. But good try, guys. I think what we're trying to sort of go with here is a synth quiz that actually gets people actually trying to guess what the synth is, as opposed to type it into Google and seeing if they can, or ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Fred or Barry or whatever you want to call it.
Barry, yeah.
Barry the AI.
Dennis. Let's ask Dennis.
Australian AI.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's not going to necessarily be on the panel. It might be a clue about the synth. And I think going forward, it's going to be more difficult because I'm finding that in the past, we may decide to do audio clues. We've done visual clues before. Audio clues is something else that we can do. I just think it's kind of, along the lines of it makes it a little bit more difficult for you guys to do it. Apart from that, it might be disappointing, but just try a bit harder. Instead of using Google, try and use your own knowledge, would be my suggestion there. Right. We have got Saturday Sonority to do, haven't we?
Run the stinger.
Wow. And we went a bit longer than normal. Yes. Guys, what have you been up to for the last couple of weeks? Anything interesting? Anything musical?
Yeah, just writing. I've just been writing.
Yeah. Okay.
You could call it writing.
Yeah, it is right. It is writing.
Yeah.
I've got a
copy
little
and pasting, as people might be doing.
I've got a little dilemma, and I'm thinking I might do another. The only problem is I'm thinking about doing another clean out of the studio here with selling some gear that I don't use enough. Running the same sort of program that I've run before, and that is if it's sat dormant and collected dust for more than 12 months, it gets put on a spreadsheet, and then the spreadsheet gets ranked from most sellable to least sellable. And then the only dilemma I've got now is Trump's completely fucked the sending stuff overseas market, thanks to him, bastard. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, I had a whole bunch of stuff up on Reverb for many, many years, and I was quite happy selling stuff through Reverb, and people were happy buying it off me, and that's completely gone dead now. Because if you think about it, someone sitting in the US or the UK, why would they want to buy a synth from Australia? They won't, because they won't want to pay the exuberant freight fees, and then on top of that, any sort of extra tariffs or, I don't know, other crap that the people are smacking on top of. Yeah. Now, the thing that really pisses me off, and this is a bit of a Ranzee's rant, I feel. So I feel like we're going to do this.
For it.
Here we go.
Ranzee's rant.
Just thought I'd add the second one in for you there, Chris. I just feel like if you've bought something brand new, that item has already had the taxes paid. It's already been through every single country, denomination, tax to get this thing to the consumer. It's been through it. And if I'm selling it secondhand, there should be not 1 ounce of tax on that good whatsoever, because it's used, it's secondhand. The government's milked all the probability out of that thing it could possibly have. I just think it's completely bonkers that someone should be able to claim a duty fee, claim a tax, a GST. I don't think GST is applicable, VAT is applicable on used items yet. God, they'll be, let's let's not give them ideas. But it's just really starting to really get up my nose. And for musicians, to a degree, it does erode some of our pleasure of actually looking after our gear, keeping the boxes, keeping things in good condition, to only have a very large, sizable amount sliced off of the amount that you can actually earn if you need to sell it down the track because you might want to buy something new to improve your studio. And the reason why I'm bringing this topic up is because obviously it's topical for me, but also I've been reading on socials lately that there's guys who want to sell their gear, especially in the UK. I've been reading it actually. I don't know why the UK has been hit the hardest here, but from what I understand, there's guys trying to sell gear in the UK at the moment, and they list their gear, and it might be for a reasonable price at the start. We're not talking about them listing something for something stupid, right? They're listing it for a reasonable price. They've done their research. I don't know. Let's pick a bit of gear. Like say they want to sell their Roland System 8 for $1,000 or 500 quid, right? And so they list it, and crickets. No one's buying it. It's sitting there for weeks. And the guy wants to sell it. He doesn't want to sit on it. The whole point of him listing it is so that he can move it on so he can obviously buy something shiny. And so what does he do? What's the most common thing that most people would do? Reduce the price.
Drop it.
So he drops the price. And then crickets again. And then what's happening now is it's literally this waterfall, right? Where the price just keeps going down, down, and down to the point where it becomes this very depressing situation for everybody, because what it means is that are we starting to smell maybe a decline in the used gear market of synths? Are we starting to see that as Trump caused that? Maybe it's a bit of Trump, maybe it's a bit of the slowing of the economy, maybe it's a bit of inflation, maybe it's Behringer selling their stuff too cheap.
Yeah,
right?
Could be. Yeah.
I mean, let's blame everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting actually because I very rarely sell anything on Reverb, but this week I did sell. I had a spare Izzy synthesizer. You know, the little Criterion guitar-y visual. I've got two of them. So, and amazingly, I've sold it to somebody in America. So I don't know what import duty he's paying on it, but I got what I wanted for it. And they are in short supply, which also helps because the manufacturer haven't got any at the moment. But I was surprised it went there, and actually I was able to ship it out of the UK for 25 quid, insured.
That's really good.
50 quid.
Yeah.
You know, I used the Royal Mail. All the shipping companies are tied with the same brush to some extent, and certainly the Royal Mail have cocked up quite a bit over the last year, you know, losing things. But it's tracked and it's insured for 250 quid in case it gets lost. So hopefully you'll get it next week, you know. But that's rare that I do anything to America now.
It is. I mean, obviously, in the cases where people buy things, it's because the person's bought it, obviously really, really wants it. But in the cases where people aren't buying stuff, I don't know, it depends on what it is, right? And how rare it is or how sought after it is, I guess. There's, you know, any used market does have that factor, no matter what market you're in. It doesn't have to be musical instruments, right? Markets are always dictated by supply and demand. That's for sure. We all know the economics, right? But I feel demand is there, but reluctance is out winning the demand.
Yeah,
need.
I mean, actually, Probe makes a good point. You know, he thinks people are spending their money on food and power these days.
Yeah.
That's probably true here. I don't know about in America and in Australia, but certainly here that seems to be the case. People haven't got as much disposable income. You know.
Well,
that,
they've done things in Australia where they've said, like, in the last 5 years, the cost of living is 20% higher than what it was around COVID time, and yet the wages haven't changed, and to some degree, most wages haven't changed. So in that case, if you were thinking about, you know, a standard family would have the standard expenses they'd have their house, their rents, their food, their phone bills, and then they have things like insurance, right? In Australia, insurance has gone through the roof. I don't know what it's like in your country, but insurances have just gone nasty over here. Like, I don't know, Chris, have you ever seen your insurance bill for your car in the last 5 years? Like, just to insure your car. 5 years ago, it was a quarter of the price.
It keeps, the value of the car goes down and the insurance stays exactly the same.
Yep.
At me.
Work that out.
My dad's worse because his is a lot older and its insurance is going up. So I don't understand what's going on there.
I've just reinsured my motorbike insurance, and that stayed the same. You know, I mean, the bike's in good condition. It's 10 years old actually. You know, and it's not too much, and I don't ride it that much, but I was pleased it stayed the same and didn't go up. Really.
Yeah. So, you know, I'll give you an example. So, like, my son is doing violin at school, and the school, if you want to rent a violin from the school, you can do that. It's not that expensive to rent one, but over a period of a year, it would be probably about twice the price in a year than if you were to buy a used one. And they're giving you a used one to rent, right? Yeah. Now, if anything happens to that violin, they make you sign this, you know, waiver. You have to pay something like it's really, really high amount of money. Like say it costs you $600 a year to rent it. It might cost you $1,200 to replace it. It's just ridiculous amount of money, right? And then you can just get a used one off of Gumtree or whatever you guys call their, you know, for half the price. You can get a $300 used student violin, right? A 3/4 violin or whatever it is. So this is what I'm saying. Like when you think about it, the people that are selling their violins used on Gumtree or whatever it is, then they're really not getting the value of that violin. Like when you think about it, say it's a $600 to $1,000 brand new, and within a couple of years of use, you know, and the ones that don't sell, you have to restring it. You have to make sure the bow's right. You have to, you know, it's got to be in good nick. Can't be all scratched up and dented. It's got to have a bag or a box. When you think about that, they're really not getting anywhere near the value of what they bought the thing for. So that's an example that's not related to synths.
So you're talking about the distortion.
It's a distortion, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think synths are suffering from it at the moment. I think, you know, there's a whole bunch of reasons. You know, like guys are saying that people are buying food. That might be a reason. People are buying Behringer. That might be another reason. People are buying, or they're just not buying. You know.
Well, certainly here in the UK, I mean, apart from the food and the electricity issues, I mean, we now have a whole generations, I'll say generation rather than just one generation, of people that can't afford to actually buy their own house. I don't know what it's like in Australia, but
same
here, I mean, we own our own house. We're lucky, we're mortgage free, but all my neighbours are renting. Now, some of these people in their 40s and early 50s, they're never going to be able to afford to buy a house. You know, they're going to be renting for the rest of their lives, and they're paying more than a mortgage. I mean, luckily for my neighbours next door, they've just moved out of their rented house, so it's up for rent again, and they're mid-30s, and they've been able to buy their own house for the first time, which is we're sorry to lose them, but they're lovely because they're lovely. But we're pleased that they've got their own house. You know, that's rare. You know, and I don't know what you do about that.
So the median house price in Australia is £500,000. Yeah. That's the median house price in Australia. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's higher in some cities, it's lower in others. But obviously you wouldn't live in the others where it's lower. There's less opportunity, right? But when you think about it, so the average family, you know, two parents, 2 kids type thing, right? Both of them would have to work. They would probably have to work for the rest of their lives at some very decent sort of income earning role to be able to afford the mortgage payments on that property. And then that median house price is, I mean, if you look at the average house in the UK and the average house in Australia, it's different because UKs have different needs for the living, right? So you guys, I would say 2 up, 2 down would probably be an average house in the UK, right? So 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, that's probably
two bedrooms
yeah.
up. Yeah. In Australia, it would be.
Ours is actually a 3-bed. Ours is a 2.5 bedroom. Because you do get these sort of what are called 3 bedroom, but they're not really. They've got a tiny 3rd bedroom, but so they're really 2 up, 2 down. Yeah.
In Australia, it would be a 3 or 4 bedroom house, but in Australia, technically, you get a bit of land, and it's a bit different because we're a big country here, so we can afford to do it. But there's an attraction, I guess, to owning a house here compared to the sandwiched 2 up, 2 down type.
Yeah.
Attached houses. So you get a detached house here for that $1 million price, wouldn't you, Chris? So now when you think about that, and all your money's all sort of wrapped up in paying the mortgage and then the electricity and the food, and to have a synth hobby now, I think it's actually almost getting to a bit where it's actually not very affordable to have a synth hobby.
It's a luxury.
And I'm actually really sad. I'm actually really sad by that because I love seeing people, like over the years I've done this show, I've seen people like start their journey with synths, and you just see the change in them. They, like Daren and I, we could tell you stories forever about this, where we've seen people come out of their shell, they've changed, they've blossomed, they've started writing music, they've produced albums, and the journey has been, centric to the synthesizer, right? That's been the journey. So I would hate to see it so that it dries up to a point where it becomes a wealthy person's hobby. I would really hate that, because that's kind of where it's heading.
I agree.
The question is it going to stay on that trajectory? I guess that's the big question. Or is there going to be a reset? Because quite often these things do happen in cycles.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. There's a couple of points here. Prob's right, because all house price inflation was caused by Margaret Thatcher, who was our Prime Minister in the 1980s. It was down to her. That's when our problems really started here. And certainly Wagoo's right. I mean, going back to pirating plugins again, when I first started playing in synths, and I had a laptop, well, still on a PC at that point, I couldn't afford to buy live. I didn't have the money. I was holding down a job and a mortgage and 2 kids and all that, and I pirated them. So yeah, I did.
Yeah. I remember, it's like the 90s, isn't it? I actually think we're having another 90s right now.
Yeah,
where the interest rates went up for houses, and I feel like that's what we're having. We're having another 90s. And I remember when I bought synths in the 90s, I bought some of my first synths in the 90s, and they were expensive to buy, so I would opt. I think you guys have heard the story. When I bought my first Roland synth, I really wanted the one that Daren's got, which is the XP50, and I couldn't afford the XP50 because that was the workstation. It wasn't even the flagship, but it was considered, I don't even think you could get the 80 in Australia. I don't think they made them to ship to Australia. Yeah. So the 50 was kind of the flagship that I could buy from a store, and I couldn't afford it. So I got the XP10, which is the baby, and I was happy with it because I got pretty much what I wanted. I just didn't have the extra features like the sequencer and the extra frequencies, right? And they're the sort of decisions that we had to make compromises in those days, right? When you think about it. But looking back then, Ian, I bought my first house when I was 23 in the 90s. I was able to afford a house, right? How many 23-year-olds this day, I'm not talking about US, because US is different, right?
No,
but Australia and the UK, how many 23-year-olds could afford to buy a house right now?
No, we were able to help our boys buy their first flat, which they've now split because they've both got houses now. But we were able to help them buy that flat when they were in their mid-20s.
I have to tell you, though, caveat here, I was really, really scant for money at the time. So I bought it. I remember the bank was telling me, you're like right on the edge, mate. We don't know if you're going to be able to afford this. I knew it was chewing all a lot of my wage. It was probably about a third of my wage was going to the mortgage, which is a lot, right? Not including tax, right? And then I had to go and get a second job. So I was working full time somewhere, and then I had to go and work Thursday nights, Saturday nights at, washing dishes behind the bar or whatever. So I'd have extra money.
Yeah, we did the same. I mean, we had a period where it was 2 or 3 years, and I used to say to Jane, we can only spend this amount of money on, we didn't want the boys to go without things, but we always were able to put food on the table. But I had a full-time job, and on an evening I'm playing in bands, and that was my second job. It's a good second job to have in one sense.
Yeah, because it's a fun job.
Doing it 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
It's fun, a fun job.
Yeah,
but,
And you used to get a decent ticket, didn't you? You used to go to a pub.
We'd get 20, 30 quid each a night.
Yeah. But for a band, you'd get a couple of £100, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I played in a band where we didn't go out for less than 300 quid a night.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably still the same now. And that was a covers band.
That's what I'm saying. The price hasn't gone up since the 90s. You would still earn the same amount.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. I mean, talking about that, I haven't talked to I haven't replied to this thing about the David Bowie tribute band. They're probably on 300, 400 quid a night. And that's fine. To be fair, I don't really think I want to do it. I mean, I don't.
You wouldn't be doing it for the money.
Band. I'm not. No, and I actually don't need the money, if I'm honest. I mean, I'm not rich, but I'm not poor either. So I'd like to play in a band that's doing original material, and they were a bit more. They're not local. This band either. They're half an hour away. So I know that could be local enough, but 2 o'clock in the morning coming back through the roads of Somerset in the dark is not fun. So
that's true.
Playing somewhere on the outskirts of London. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to take it, but it's nice to be asked.
Is it an 80s Bowie or a 70s Bowie or a bit of both? Or
I think it's mainly 80s. I've had a look at a couple of videos. They sound all right. I mean, their lead singer does. I thought, I'm not wearing a bloody wig. I'm not doing the 70s wig
Ziggy.
Thing,
You're not doing the Ziggy.
The Ziggy thing. I'm not getting
going to be
involved
one
in
of
that.
the spiders
no,
from
they're not.
Mars.
I mean, the lead singer does have a bit of a look of David Bowie, and he sounds a bit like him. So that's fine. But I turned down a Meatloaf tribute band one day when I was in Yorkshire. I don't want to play in a tribute band. I don't need, if I was short of cash and if I was skint, yes, I'd do it tomorrow. And it's a job, but I don't need to do that. If I'm going to play anything, I'm going to, I'm looking for the camaraderie of playing in a band rather than just the money, really. Yeah, and I don't. Bert says, "Come on, that's insane." Yeah, and it's not going to happen. Bert. I'll tell you that, mate. It's not going to happen. No. I could do the job. I know that. That's not the problem. Learning the songs isn't the issue.
I mean, if it's something that you like, it's something that you really enjoy. Let's say in life, one of the top things you enjoy is getting behind your instrument and playing David Bowie songs. If that's really what floats your boat, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Then I'd say go for it. Who cares about the money?
Through the 80s and 90s, I played thousands and thousands of gigs. I was out 5 nights a week, really, playing and earning a living. And doing a day job as well at the same time. And I enjoyed it. You forget the bad times. You forget the times when we were so knackered that, you almost fall asleep on the way home. Or one of you has to take some drugs to actually stay awake and drive home and all that sort of stuff, as used to happen. We used to take turns because I think we took Mandrax, which we'd get really irritable. And so somebody would have to take them to then drive home because the rest of the band was so knackered.
Yeah. They're not. We have a thing here called no-dos.
Yeah, and whenever Paul, our guitarist, did it, he would be up all night ironing because he'd get home at 3 o'clock in the morning and he'd still be so wired
Yeah.
that he couldn't go to sleep. So he'd stay up all night ironing.
Ironing.
I remember him telling me that. That was funny.
I used to play in a band, and I used to have like it kind of started as a bit of an accident, Ian. It kind of started. I was kind of I was like the tech guy, right? So I was hanging around a bunch of my mates, and they were in a band, and they're like, "Oh, can you give us a hand? We know you're pretty good with computers and audio and stuff." And I mean, if you look at my history, you know, I used to volunteer at school at the hall. I used to do all the tech stuff at the hall, and then I worked in a hi-fi store. Like, you know the story, right? So when I started hanging around my mates who were in the band, I was doing the tech stuff. So I was doing all the front of house stuff. I was doing the mixing. I was setting up the, you know, that sort of stuff. And then I started bringing my own gear and hooking their stuff up to it because they had shit stuff, and I had better mixing consoles, and I had better cables, and, you know, I started just using my gear. And then next thing you know, like, one of the guys in the band, he was like, I heard you're pretty handy on the keyboards, so we need some synth sounds, and we're doing a few songs which have synths in it. So, you know, can you do that? And I'm like, yep. So before I knew it, I'm playing keys, doing the back of house stuff, front of house stuff, mixing and playing keys in the band. I was like the tech guy, but on keys. And then I swung a guitar around my neck, and I was doing rhythm guitar, playing keys, doing mixing in the band. And then I looked at everyone else, and they're just freaking, there was a drummer, there's this lead singer, the bass guitarist, and the lead guitarist, and I'm like, you guys are just doing one thing here. I'm doing everything, like playing the keys, playing the guitar, mixing.
Odd jobs.
Yeah. I had the worst, you know, and then when they started splitting the pub fee that we got.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You start saying, hang on a second.
Yeah. I said, well, I should be getting a quarter of that fee because
Exactly,
I'm doing. Yeah. But I know what you mean. It's weird work, isn't it? Gigging. It's kind of.
It is.
You don't really get per hour return.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
The amount of time you spend rehearsing and then just getting to a gig, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'd rehearse.
we'd
We'd rehearse 3 times a week, right?
You see,
And the parking.
once I was
If you
and
can
the
park
park,
near.
yeah. If you can park. I mean, we actually
damage to your
the
gear.
band that I played with,
Loading and unloading.
when we were out 5 nights a week, we never once we were on the road, we never rehearsed. We would rehearse a song at sound check, and then we'd rehearse it for 3 or 4 gigs, and then put it in the set, because we were literally playing 5 nights a week. You know, it would start Wednesday.
I never did a
Wednesdays.
road.
Yeah, we'd get Tuesday, Wednesday off if we were lucky, and then every other night. So start Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You know,
We would just get gigs, because where I lived at the time, there were so many pubs to play at. Like, within half an hour's drive of where I lived, there would be 200-300 pubs that you could have played at, and then an hour's drive you had Sydney, and then you can add thousands of pubs there, right? So literally where I lived, that you didn't have to do a road tour. We were on the sort of central coast of New South Wales. There was so many places to gig, so many. Like, I would be gigging next to some famous Australian bands. Like, today you'd be like, we'd be drinking beer with these guys, like Silverchair and bands like that. We would be drinking beer next to these guys when they were nobodies, and we'd be the first act, they'd be the second act. No one knew who they were, and we'd be the Jets, like the Screaming Jets. You know, we'd be drinking beer with these guys in the 90s, and these guys would be not even heard of, and then a few years later they'd be #1 hits across Australia, and we're like, we were just doing,
what happened there?
we were just doing covers though, so they were writing their own stuff, so that was the difference.
Yeah, I mean, we used to meet up with other bands at sort of 2 o'clock in the morning in some motorway services, you know, because we very rarely worked London. And we always like to try and go home, so we worked Newcastle up to the northeast and up down as far as North Wales, all around east, south, West Yorkshire, you know. And we had management. We had a management in Rotherham, and then that manager would get work from other agents around, so. But
I told Bicky mentioned all we ever exported was In Excess and Midnight Oil. I'll tell you two little funny stories. Right, number one, In Excess. So In Excess is basically the Farris brothers, right? Andrew Farris. He's kind of like the main guitarist of In Excess, if you don't know. Yep. Now the Farris brothers are actually from Perth. They're originally from Perth. They're a Perth family, and they, for some reason, ended up over on the east coast of Australia, and I think they got up into Brisbane, and that's where they met Michael Hutchence, and they started doing all that kind of psychedelic early days of In Excess stuff, and then they went and moved down to Sydney, and that's kind of when they took off. Now, I knew the Farris brothers because of the Perth link, right? So that's kind of an interesting thing there, and this is before they were like world famous. But I can tell you now what I knew about those guys. I knew these guys were going somewhere. They were incredibly talented individuals. So you could just tell, like, the guys just had, you know how you meet people and you just go, far out, this person's just good at what they do. You just look at them, you're in envy. You're just in envy.
It is absolutely true, because I auditioned as a bass player. I was a crap bass player, but I auditioned as a bass player for the guy who had played in Mick Ronson's band, who obviously played with Bowie, when they were still in Hull. He was in a band called the Rats, I think. And this guy was the lead singer of that band, and I auditioned. I didn't get the gig, but it was, but it's a very small world. You're right.
It is, and if you're in the music industry, it's even smaller, right? So it's a tiny world.
Yeah.
So the Midnight Oil story, there's actually a couple of Midnight Oil stories I can do, but I think this is the best one. So I was in the Air Force when I was young. I was about 18 years old at the time, and I was working in this city in Australia called Adelaide, and the unit that I was working for was like this, to make it sort of, give it a bit of a military exciting sort of slant to the story. This particular aircraft, they patrol the coasts of Australia and some other countries and survey for illegal fishing and things like that. That's basically their job, right? And this guy, I was friends with this guy, David Hurst. He's one of the mechanics on the aircraft, and so Dave and I, we were really good mates. We'd go out on the piss together, and we had so much fun. Anyway, I had no idea, but one day we were sitting down drinking, and this guy Dave says to me, he goes, "Oh, do you know who my brother is?" And I went, "No, who's your brother?" He goes, Rob Hurst. And he goes, the drummer from Midnight Oil. I went, "Is that your brother? You're just bullshitting me because you got the same surname." He's no, I'll prove it to you. And he proved it to me. Anyway, so one day we had planned to do a trip from Adelaide to Sydney, which is it's about a 12-hour drive, I guess, by car. So we did this trek to Sydney, and we went and saw Midnight Oil, and obviously because he's his brother, we got in for free. And this particular concert was famous because this is a concert that they did on this island in Sydney Harbour, and the only way you could get to this concert was via boat, right? You had to go on a little dinghy, and you have to go out there, and there wasn't that many people on the island watching this, but it was televised, it was done live, it was actually crazy. It was actually really like kind of almost like a surreal dream type thing. So we're here on this island, and Dave's like saying, "Come meet my brother, come meet." And so we go up behind the stage, and then Rob is this incredibly talented musician who actually, if you know a little bit about Midnight Oil, there's kind of like three really big names behind the band. There's obviously Peter Garrett. You guys would all know him. He's the guy with the bald head, famous singer. That's the front man. But Rob and Jim's the guitarist. They were kind of like the musicians behind it. So all the really clever music that was behind Midnight Oil was Rob and Jim. They would actually sit and write and have these massive writing sessions. And we actually sat and we were chatting for ages. These guys were supposed to be playing, like, I don't know, in an hour or whatever, but it seemed like it was forever. We were just chatting. And I can remember this conversation like yesterday. It was so inspirational. And this guy's a drummer, but the stuff that he talked about was not drums at all. The stuff he was talking about was it was about he was talking about the energy that he had like basically he was talking about he had so much that he wanted to achieve, and he just felt like he didn't have enough time in the day to achieve it. So he had all these ideas, and they were just pouring out, and he was getting frustrated because he couldn't write them down quick enough. And this would have been like late 80s. So when you think about Midnight Oil, and when they really were going very, very big and strong, that was probably right in, when they were actually pretty big, at their biggest, I reckon. So, yeah. Two little stories.
The Beds, I don't think the album's called, The Beds Are Burning was the single, wasn't it?
Well, that's Diesel and Dust. So
that's the album I've got.
Yeah.
I did have all three at one point.
So Diesel and Dust would have been out and done by then. So this would have been probably Blue Sky Mining days.
That one too.
That was massive, that album. So
Yeah,
1098 was my favourite. That was the earlier album, 1098. It's that's got some. They actually recorded that in Japan. That album, 1098.
Great
and
band,
they used Fairlights and the samplers and stuff in it. So they were really friggin' for a guitar rock band. They were actually quite synthy. Definitely. Anyway, that's the Midnight Oil story.
Starter tracks with synths.
Yeah.
They quite often started their
I'm
tracks.
trying to think which other album I had. I think I might have had Red Sails in the Sunset was the other album.
Yeah, it's a great album. It's another great album. Yeah. Yep. I mean, when you think about it, their music was quite catchy, quite rocky, catchy, very Australian sounding, and I think interesting how they got a lot of success because they were quite political.
Yeah.
So the lyrics were very political, and the politics wasn't international; it was more centric to what was going on in Australia. Like you think about some of the songs they were writing about the rights of Indigenous people. They were writing about how mining companies are destroying the environment. They were writing like a lot of songs are about that sort of stuff. Mental health was a big theme in some of their songs about people that had served in wars with PTSD and stuff like that. So pretty interesting sort of. I think Peter Garrett was a lot behind that though. He's a politician now, that guy. So doesn't surprise me.
Right.
I mean, he'd be close to 70, Peter Garrett.
Just looking at it now, he's doesn't say how old he is actually.
Be pretty close to 70, I reckon. I never actually got to meet him.
73.
There you
73.
go. I never got to meet Peter Garrett when I was on that island, Chris. He wasn't there. So I met Jim, the guitarist. He was crazy, that guy. He was like a crazy guy. But yeah. But yeah, anyway, so I guess kind of what I'm saying is that you do those gigs and you're working and you're meeting all these people, in some cases you're probably bumping shoulders with people you don't even remember their name because it's busy, the night, the drinks flowing, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You might have brushed shoulders with Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics. You don't know, right? You could have, like, in those days.
I met a few famous dickheads in my life. But those are the ones I remember.
Yeah. Yes, Goat Island. That's the name of the island. Well done, your name here. That's the name of the island. It was a friggin' crazy concert. Like, actually, I had a really bad hangover the next day. I got smashed. It's Dave's fault, though. Geez, those guys could drink. Whoa. They could drink.
And that's saying something because you were in the military.
Oh yeah, my liver was hanging by a thread.
That's exactly it.
Proverbially, yeah. But yeah, there was some. I mean, over the years, you'd meet some big drinkers. Like I remember, we went to, we did this exercise up in Rockhampton, which is in northern Queensland, right? And they called the United States Marine Corps in to share this exercise with Australia, right? And we're at this pub in Rocky, and in the center of the town, and this is like bunch of USMC guys, like these American jocks, right? They're in the pub, and they see us Aussies walking in, right? And we walk in, and the first thing they go is, "We want to challenge you to a drink off." Like, all right, what are we doing? It's like, "We can drink you under the table any day, booyah!" Like it was really like this sort of stuff, right?
It's become Top Gun.
Really
Oh my god, it was so cliche and so stereo, but it's exactly what happened. And there was this one guy. He was really muscly, like he had no neck. It was he was huge, right? This guy, he just said to the barman, he said, "See that bottle there?" He said, "We don't need glasses, just give me the bottle." And he just started drinking it out of the bottle, and he probably drunk. They're 700ml bottles, right? The Scotch bottles, aren't they? So he'd probably drunk. I reckon I lost count after 3. This guy just swigged them down, like it was cordial, like it was Coke. I don't know. It was just crazy. And I looked at it, and there's no way in the world I could even. I mean, I could probably drink one bottle, but I would be ruined. If you drank one bottle of Scotch, that would ruin me. I'd have a massive hangover.
Yeah, no.
This guy was sinking them like it was just lollies, you know? It was so... They had so much constitution in them. I don't know if they're still alive to this day. Like, honestly, they'd have some sort of cancer, wouldn't they? Yeah, after consuming that amount of alcohol.
Liver problems at least.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
But I mean, that was part of the scene, wasn't it? When you played at pubs, you had to drink a fair bit.
It was very much a drink. I mean, most of the musicians I've worked with in doing clubs and pubs did drink, but didn't really do drugs. We only did really do drugs at all. We did drugs to stay awake, as I said. That's the only time. You know, we weren't interested. We used to occasionally smoke dope, but it would be marijuana more than anything else. That was on a night off.
Everyone did.
If we went to a party, then you'd smoke some dope because it's a night off, you know. But for years, I never wanted to go in pubs and clubs because that's where I went to work. When I stopped doing it, I just stopped going. I didn't go in pubs because it always felt like, you know, here's where I go to work, really. So for years, we'd go to the theatre or the cinema on a night out. Really.
I mean, these days I don't even hardly touch this. I might have a beer.
No, I don't. I mean,
something like that. It's
I stopped smoking dope when I stopped smoking. I stopped smoking before the kids were born. So I was 29 when I stopped smoking cigarettes, and that's when I stopped smoking dope. Really, and I didn't do it that often.
Before 2000, right?
Yeah. And occasionally, we've got alcohol. No, I've got spirits in the house, but I like a glass of sherry now and then. But all right, if I go for a curry, I'll have a beer. But I very rarely drink. You know.
I smoked for a bit when I was younger. I can't remember how long it was for. It wasn't long though, but I
smoked from 13 till 29.
I had to do
really
physical stuff when I was in the military, and I knew that the smoking just wasn't going to be helping that, so I had to stop. And then I found it actually pretty easy to not smoke.
Oh, I didn't. I found it really difficult, and I had bronchitis. Because my father died of emphysema, so there's breathing issues in my family. I'm smoking from a teenager, really, you know, through to my maybe 30s. And I found it really difficult to stop, really. But I'd had 2 really bad bouts of bronchitis where I literally couldn't get off the sofa when it's probably meant before I was married, but, you know, and that that made me stop for a while. I cut down first of all, and then stopped for a while, but then started again. After 6 months, I'm thinking, I can start smoking again now. I can have the odd cigarette. I can't. I'm bloody addicted.
Doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way. I know. So I've not had a cigarette for 40 years. Something like that. 35 years.
One of the things is when we were playing in New South Wales, like there, I don't know if you know much about New South Wales, but there's kind of these places called leagues clubs or workers clubs or rugby clubs. They're like,
yeah, we'd have them as workingmen's clubs is what they are.
Yeah,
in here.
And these places, they're like basically they're just a pub with a whole bunch of poker machines. And and then you'd have a restaurant sort of tacked on the side, and I think the restaurant was only there to comply with the law that you had to serve food. I don't know, there was some licensing law, but so the thing is, it was all subsidised by the poker machines, and I don't know why, but we had this group that I was with. We had a general rule that we would not play at one of those clubs because there was a level of cheesiness about the patrons that were there. It was kind of like, I think one of the guys, he did a gig there and he came back and he just felt like no one was listening to him play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of the impression he got. And there were people probably dancing and stuff, but do you know what I mean? Like, but the majority of people, they're not there really to listen to a live act. They're there to play the pokies or to have a meal, whatever.
It would be in the UK. It would be bingo. Bingo was the big thing.
Yeah, right.
So you know, it's. I played a. So go on.
I was just going to say, so we just played at pubs, and the pubs that we played at didn't have poking machines, because I don't think in those days they were allowed to buy. I think later on they introduced them into pubs, and it was stupid. But at that stage they weren't allowed to. So when you go and do a gig at a pub, people are there. All they're there to do is listen to the live act and have a few drinks, and it was a much better scene. And we never really had a problem. We always enjoyed it. I think that was kind of the important thing.
Yeah, I mean Waggo's comment just to turn to be on between the bingo and sessions. He's absolutely right. We played a place in, I think it's in Halifax. It's in West Yorkshire. We turn up at sort of 6:30 to sound check. We're not allowed to sound check because they're already playing bingo. The place is absolutely. You can smoke in these places as well. You can see what everybody's smoking because it's just clouds and clouds of smoke.
Yeah.
We set up, so we've got no sound check, and we're doing 3 sets. So we're playing for about an hour and a half, 3 half-an-hour sets, and literally the minute we played the 3 sets, and after each set they went back to playing bingo, and that's all they did. And you're right, we were getting well paid, for the late 80s.
That's the thing. 90s. The money's good, but the vibe is not.
Good, yeah.
It's just the vibe. Yeah. It was just this really sort of nonchalant, like a real clinical vibe to it. It just you didn't feel well afterwards. You feel you go home and you think, I almost feel dirty playing there. Like, did they enjoy it?
We played loads of miners' welfare clubs throughout the 1984 strike. The UK, when the miners were on strike.
Yeah.
And we just, those gigs were great actually because it was the one night of the week where they were going out to have a good time, and they were appreciative that the band were playing, and they were really, really good nights really. And actually, the other place was we played a lot in South. We used to do tours of South Wales, so we go and stay in theatrical digs. And then we tour around Tredegar and Ebervale and places like that, and do the workingmen's clubs. And there, because there was nothing in these sort of villages for kids to do, it would be full of kids, and they'd be queuing outside the door at 7 o'clock. You weren't on stage till 8, but they were literally queuing outside. Because I remember the concert chairman said, if I were you lads, I'd get your drinks now because the minute they open the front doors, there'll be 6 deep at the bar, and it was. Incredible.
Yeah.
So
we always used to have a rule with the patron when we used to do a gig, and that was that if the glass was at the edge of the stage, that they had to replace it with something. That was our rule.
Yeah.
So generally they would comply with that. You know, some of those places we played at, the friggin' the space that you were crammed into to play in, right? You were crammed into this tiny little friggin' corner.
Yeah, the stages can be very small, can't they?
And you had to somehow perform in that little tiny space.
Yeah, been there.
Oh my God. And then you
I think
get these drunkards who just fall on your gear.
Oh, yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Sorry, mate. I spill your drink all over it.
There's a very dodgy area of Leeds called, I won't mention. Anyway, there's a very dodgy area of Leeds, and we played the Workingmen's Club there, and I was in a duo by this time. It's me and Lionel. Now, Lionel is an Asian lad, right, which obviously didn't go down well because we got, he would be racially abused from the stage in this place. It's the only place where I've actually seen somebody piss themselves at the bar. This guy was so arsehole that he just pissed himself at the bar and carried on drinking.
Yeah.
It was, we ended up playing there a couple of times actually, but every time we stayed in the dressing room because there was no point going out front. I would go out front to get the drinks from the bar because I'm white. Lionel didn't because he would be, somebody would pick on him.
Yeah. That really sucks. That sucks.
Chapeltown. Wagyu knows it. I wasn't going to mention it. I wasn't going to mention it, but it is. It's Chapeltown. It wasn't Beeston. Actually, Beeston was all right. Wagyu. Beeston was fine.
I used to live in this part of New South Wales called Port Stephens, and it's beautiful. Absolutely, it's a really, really nice area where during the day you would surf. The beaches are fantastic. The Pacific Ocean. There were rivers. There were sort of lagoons and lakes everywhere. There was so much water sport. I used to windsurf. Do people ever windsurf these days anymore? I don't think it's even a thing anymore, is it? I used to love windsurfing.
It's probably on the south coast, I think.
Yeah. Probably. Anyway, so what would happen? Because remember I was telling you I had my mortgage, and I had to have a second job, right? So that kind of undid my career as playing in gigs because I had to tell the guys, look, guys, sorry, I can't play anymore on Saturday night because I'm now working. So we had to come up with some sort of way where I could get a gig that would pay me the same amount that it would pay if I was to do a shift, working as a barman or something. And this guy, he was one of the guys in the band. He was like, he's just really nerdy, but he don't know, his parents had connections or he had connections. I don't know what it was. So he got me this job as a part-time working behind a bar at this place, which was like an oyster, like a seafood place. It was called the Oyster Barn or something. I think that was the name of it. And they did a live act. And so he did a deal with the guy.
Not the Blue Oyster.
Not the Blue Oyster.
No, they were a cult, weren't they?
That was a cult, yeah. He did this deal with this guy that owned the place. He said, look, this guy, he's part of our band. So when we come in, it's our act, we'd be playing for an hour or two or whatever it was, hour and a half. He jump off the bar and come and play with us. And then when the act finishes, he can go finish off whatever he has to do at the bar. And the guy and the owner was like, hell yeah. That's really cool. The barman gets to play in the band. That's like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So afterwards, people would come up to me and go, "Oh, you were the guy on the keys." Oh, yeah. And they'd be dry, and it would actually sell drinks. It was actually kind of a really clever thing.
Clever,
yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, very smart. Yes. Yeah. Speaking of being smart, I think I might need to disappear. I got kids' sport in the morning.
Copy that. We'll have you. Right. Yeah. That's good show, boys. Good show.
I've got work at 4.
You're working, are you, big fella?
Yeah, working at weekend. I was at 4 this morning. Well, getting up at 4, let's put it that way.
It's always it's hard, isn't it?
That's the middle of the night.
Yeah, because he's got this. It's middle of golf season, isn't it? They're all just going out having a swing
before the range opens. Yeah.
All right, boys. Yikes. Well, it was a good little chat. I enjoyed the Saturday Sonority. Chris,
yeah, I enjoyed that.
Glad to be back.
Chris,
we're
book
back.
in a segment next week, and
The segment next week?
Yeah, for yourself, so you can show what you've been up to. Like, so
okay.
book it in, so we can go right. New segment, Chris. Here you go. Bang.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what we'll do for the rest of it is we'll do what we did last week, where we'll go, okay, guys in chat, let us know what priorities you want us to review, and we'll do that again. We'll have it like a free news section. I think that was more interactive. It was cool fun. I liked it. Obviously, if I find something that's interesting to show you, like I did this week, I thought some of those things this week were pretty interesting. So it's always good to show.
Yeah.
Especially that weird FX thing with the microphone. It was just,
Oh my God, that's incredible.
the price of that was just, it was fantastic. Nice to be back, guys. We'll see you guys next week, and massive thank you to Daren and to Ian and to Chris, and obviously Andy who left earlier to say hi from Pittsburgh. That was nice of him to jump on from his hotel room. Thanks to the chatties, and guys, go out there and do something. Record, press record.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Press record. See you later, guys.
See you guys.
See you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.